is ESPN on ABC.
Welcome to the Aflac kickoff game, and welcome to Atlanta. Everywhere you look, orange here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's because Syracuse and Tennessee are set to meet ACC against SEC to begin this first full Saturday of college football. Bob Wischusen here with Louis Riddick. Chris Button will join us. Partners, so excited to get another season kicked off with you. But as much orange as there is here in Atlanta, that's probably about as many tears as there were at the Horseshoe. In case you just switched over from ESPN to us here on ABC, we thank you for that, and you might be drying a tear as well. Lee Corso's final headgear pick was an amazing scene.
But college football and Lee Corso are synonymous. I mean, everyone who tunes in on Saturdays tunes in for him to inform, educate, and lastly entertain you. And that was wildly entertaining, wildly emotional, something we'll never forget.
It'll never quite be the same on Saturday mornings again. And I had a tear. I had to wipe it away and gather myself before we came on the air. All right, Tennessee, they overachieved last season, at least in terms of the prognosticators, made it to the college football playoff. They've lost some talent, but boy, they've got some guys on defense.
Yeah, those two guys on your screen right there are studs. Joshua Josephs, the starting Leo defensive end, takes over for James Pierce, who was the #1 draft pick right here for the Atlanta Falcons. Arian Carter, one of the best athletes in all of college football. He will shine today because he is just too good to hold him down. And the guy who has to face these guys is going to be quarterback Steve Angeli, to transfer from Notre Dame, the redshirt junior who's making his second career start. He is going to be the one who's going to have to get this ball out of his hands quick and try to figure out a way to manufacture points for the Syracuse Orangemen.
A new quarterback for Syracuse, a new quarterback for the 4th consecutive year for Tennessee. If you don't know the story of Joey Aguilar, wait until you hear it when Chris Button brings that to you in a moment as we come back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. College football presented by Starbucks. If you like orange, this is the game for you. Syracuse, Tennessee as ACC meets SEC to open up the season. Bob Wischusen, Louis Riddick, and Chris Button. And Chris, for the 4th consecutive year, Tennessee has a brand new starting quarterback, and this probably the most unlikely story of them all.
Yeah, what a story it is for 24-year-old Joey Aguilar, who in high school didn't know if he was continuing his football career, so he started taking classes to be a firefighter. But then he bet on himself. He went to City College of San Francisco. We would ride the train 90 minutes. So he got to a certain point where he couldn't even afford the train ticket anymore. So he transferred to Diablo College at JUCO, eventually made his way to App State, where he was for 2 years, then gets a chance to go back to California, UCLA, and what is now basically a college trade for Nico Iamaleava. That led him over to Rocky Top at Tennessee. And while Josh Heupel has said this has been a ramped up study session for him to learn this offense, when we spoke with Heupel yesterday, he said, that's not my concern. What I know about this kid, he has played a lot of football. 6 years worth, Bob.
And Chris, Syracuse just won the toss and deferred. So the ball will belong to Joey Aguilar to begin as Tennessee will get the first offensive possession. And Louis, you know, talking to Joey Aguilar, I asked him, what was your biggest moment of doubt? He said, you know, when you're in high school and you think you're pretty good and no one calls, there's no recruiting interest. And he spent 2 years after high school without football because COVID hit. So he played a couple of seasons, yes, at junior college, but that was after sitting 2 seasons out, after being told basically through radio silence on his cell phone that no colleges were even interested. And now fast forward 5 years, he's worked his way to being an SEC starting quarterback.
Yeah, what a great story of resilience, right? I mean, perception meets reality. And the perception for him was, I'm sure internally, hey, I'm pretty good. I think I'm going to get some offers. The reality is that you didn't. And then how do you react to those circumstances? Just like he's going to have to react to some circumstances right now, because Fran Brown and the Syracuse Orangemen said, let's get a look at what you got.
Both of these teams won 10 games last season, the debut season for Fran Brown. And he, of course, has a brand new starting quarterback of his own. We will see Steve Angeli when the Orange get the football, but it will be Tennessee to begin the Aflac kickoff game underway here in Atlanta. Dwayne Morris just inside the end zone, holds on to it for a touchback. So here indeed comes Joey Aguilar. who 5 seasons ago, as Chris said, gave serious consideration to giving up football altogether and pursuing his dream of being a fireman. Took some firefighting classes in high school and junior college, was enamored with the idea, but he had some friends that said, you know, you're actually pretty good at football. Maybe you should not give up on that dream. He didn't. He went the junior college route, worked his way to Appalachian State. You could see through for nearly 7,000 yards at App State. And that got him a ticket to UCLA. Of course, Nico Iamaleava takes his spot, so they flip schools. He's now at Tennessee. And it looks like they accidentally, you know, it is. It's the first Saturday for everyone. They left the kicking tee on the field.
Work out some of the kinks here before we get going. But yeah, Bob, this is a great story of Joey Aguilar. And we're going to see right now this Tennessee and Josh Heupel, they lean on this run game and just kind of ease him into this football game.
Now they'll go play action on the first play of the game, and it's already a catch and run completion. Aguilar is able to find Mike Matthews for a Tennessee first down, a gain of 13.
And how about Mike Matthews? Look, they are counting on this sophomore to be a big contributor this year. What a great way to get started.
A quick bubble screen. And that works to perfection as well. Chris Brazel picks up 9 to make it 2nd and 1.
Well, offensive coordinator Joey Halls, he said, hey, we may not take big shots down the field. We'll see how this goes, how we get him started in this game. How about 2 for 2?
Play action, 2nd and 1. He wants it all. A jump ball. Incomplete. Flag out. Matthews and Brazel were both downfield. And the freshman Demetrius Samuel Jr. was there in coverage for Syracuse.
The dreaded underthrown pass.
Pass interference, defense, number 1, 15-yard penalty, first down.
It's the hardest thing for a defensive back to do on the underthrown ball, to try and time your jump, turn into a receiver. Look, Demetrius Samuel is a fantastic athlete, a two-way player. He'll play that better in the future, but Tennessee is rolling here early.
On the ground for the first time with Deshaun Bishop, and he has 5.
That Tennessee running game has been just dynamic since Josh Heupel took over. They lose Dylan Sampson last year to the professional ranks. Deshaun Bishop and Peyton Lewis, you'll see them a lot today.
And now Tennessee will lose the 5 they just picked up.
False start, offense, number 74, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Sham Umarov, a somewhat surprise starter at left guard, because the true freshman number 1 tackle in America, David Sanders Jr., that was supposed to start at right tackle, dinged in practice this week, woke up this morning, didn't feel well, and so they have to shift around their offensive line to make up for the loss of Sanders. Aguilar, well protected, now extends the play. And that's incomplete, broken up by Demetrius Samuel Jr. Again, that's a young man that enrolled in January at Syracuse at 16 years of age. He only turned 17 in April.
Yeah, he's a young man who's going to play both ways at some point for Syracuse. A 4-star, he's just, when you watch his high school tape, it's just fantastic. He's like a man playing with boys, and he's out here on the Autobahn in the fast lane against this offense. And they're going to test him early and see what he's got. He is more than wired for the challenge.
3rd down and 10. Chance for Syracuse to get a stop. Aguilar sets up the screen. Bishop gets a block. Has the hash marks in a lane. Into the red zone he goes. Well-executed screen by the Vols. Dennis Jaquez Jr. They have saved a touchdown after a gain of 21.
I mean, what a great call by Josh Heupel. The middle screen, you just see Joey Aguilar just taking his time, letting it set up.
They don't take their time for long. And there's a form tackle at about the 17-yard line.
Well, that's
excellent hit from Devin Grant as he brought down Deshaun Bishop.
And he was a great young man to talk to. We visited with him. Devin Grant going to move all over the field, playing the nickel, play safety, and he is a hammer coming downhill. That is his forte. And he's going to have to make a lot of tackles against these backs from Tennessee that can run it as well as anyone.
A gain of 1, so 2nd and 9 in the red zone. Aguilar, quick hitter to the sideline, incomplete. Slightly mistimed to Matthews. So now 3rd down and 9. And another chance for Syracuse to get a stop.
You see Joey Aguilar, he's been showing nice field vision and nice composure. See, Mike Matthews may have taken it upfield a little bit far. You see how that ball was a little bit behind him. You just wonder if that's a little bit of miscommunication on the part of the new quarterback and one of the wide receivers that they're counting on here. A big 3rd down here in the high red zone.
Here comes a blitz. It's picked up. Aguilar, one-on-one shot, back corner of the end zone. And incomplete. He overthrew Brazel. And again, Demetrius Samuel, they tested the freshman, and he was in good position.
Hey, he tried to run a double move on the outside, a little stutter go. You're going to see it up at the top. You see Aguilar try and look off the safety, and then come back to the strong side and just throw that thing high and back shoulder. Chris Brazel, 6'5", 200 pounds, trying to get that ball up high over the young freshman cornerback, not quite able to connect.
So Syracuse gets a stop in the red zone. Max Gilbert from 34. And the Vols have the early lead. Off to a good start here in Atlanta. 3-0 Tennessee. Tennessee with the early lead. Lewis Riddick, how about the keys for both teams today?
Yeah, except for the Syracuse Orange, who's not controlling both lines of scrimmage. They get a chance to do it offensively here, win the turnover margin. Can they get Joey Aguilar to throw him one? Offensively for Tennessee, run game and play action pass. You saw a little bit of that on that first drive, but you saw a whole lot of pass. And for the defense, now we get a look at this Tennessee defense that I think is one of the best in all of college football. They have been fantastic at creating negative plays under defensive coordinator Tim Banks' direction. We'll see what they got here in terms of the 2025 version of the Volunteers defense.
Malachi James holds the New Jersey State record in the 100 meters. He's back deep to receive, but a good job by Josh Turbyville to say, you're not running it back. This is going to go through the back of the end zone. So now Steve Angeli. He played in both the national championship semifinal and the championship game of the college football playoff last year. And his seminal moment really was against Penn State in the semifinals. Riley Leonard gets knocked out of the game with a possible concussion in the 2nd quarter, and Angeli comes off the bench cold and leads his team right down the field to kick a field goal before halftime and get Notre Dame on the board. He goes 6 of 7 on that drive. So small sample size, but he certainly has proved that he can do this. Only his 2nd career start. And he'll start in the air. Slips a pass to Williamson. He's free. Nixon nearly to midfield before he's brought down. So Angeli stands in, faces the rush, and completes a ball for 21 yards.
Right out of the gate, defensive coordinator Tim Banks sends a safety fire on Steve Angeli. And what does he do? He stands in there nice and calm, hits running back Will Nixon, a legitimate pass-catching threat out of the backfield, and they're off to the races. That's the thing when you watch tape on Steve Angeli that you will see. Very calm under pressure, very analytical, gets the ball out of his hand on time to make good decisions. He's going to need to do more of that against his Tennessee defense.
Will Nixon again. This time only a yard. Joshua Josephs, one of those Leo rush ends that you talked about before the game started, comes up and gets the tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Joshua Josephs, this is the guy. Now you're going to see him down at the top of your screen. You see him there, just ride the tackle down. Demetrius Weatherspoon, keep his outside arm free. Don't let the ball get outside of you. He's one of the best young defensive linemen in the country. I think we'll be calling his name a lot today.
The Texas transfer, Jonte Cook in motion. And now Yasin Willis to the right of Angeli. He gets a chance. He runs through contact and powers his way across midfield. Josephs made first contact near the line of scrimmage. Boy, Yasin Willis, he may have delivered more punishment than he took.
I'll tell you, Yasin Willis is the truth now. He said he worked hard. As we see a player down on the field, I think it's Jackson Moy, the interior defensive lineman for the Tennessee Volunteers. They're not really deep. on this defensive line.
Timeout on the field.
Hopefully he's okay.
The Aflac kickoff game on ABC, presented by Starbucks, is brought to you by Aflac. Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. And the Starbucks Coffee Company.
Tailgate Town's a fun place to be outside the stadium as we take a look at our impact players, brought to you by Fairfield by Marriott.
I think you already seen the impact that Yasin Willis can have on a defense, the way he just treated Joshua Josephs. Demetrius Samuel, the do-it-all freshman. Tennessee has already tried to attack him. Deshaun Bishop, the running back from Tennessee, he is a stud. And Arian Carter, we haven't called his name yet, but I'm sure we will here soon, the do-it-all junior linebacker. Big third down.
And Jelly spreads things out. 3rd down and 5, just into plus territory. Trying to get Tennessee, possibly Lewis, to tip their hand.
Yeah, you can see this veteran secondary just trying to hold their look, hold their shell until the last minute. Passing it off. Looks like there's going to be some zone coverage.
4-man rush. And Jelly floats one high, and he's got a first down hookup. Reliable tight end Dan Villari over the middle. Picks up 14. Flag down on the far side of the field. Back behind the line of scrimmage.
Illegal shift. Offense, number 2 and number 15. Never reset. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So the 2 wide receivers, Jonte Cook and Darrell Gill Jr.
You can see here's Darrell Gill. And then they're talking about receiver up at the top. They're saying that he didn't really reset. Jonte Cook coming in motion. See Fran Brown on the sideline arguing about it. What a nice play call on the part of offensive coordinator Jeff Nixon against that too-high look. Ran a high-low combination, and Jelly read it out perfectly. He looks very comfortable, Bob, so far here early in this game.
Another 4-man rush. And Jelly hit as he throws a wobbly throw. And it gets to midfield. As Jonte Cook came back to help out the quarterback, but that's well short of the first down. Nate Robinson, who checked in place of Jackson Moy, put the heat on Angeli.
You can see a little game here. He's trying to get some free rushers, some free runners on Angeli. And you're going to see there's the penetrator. And then coming around, Nathan Robinson with the big hit. That's a big boy to be hitting on your quarterback at 6'5", 300 pounds. He came in for Jackson Moy. It's unfortunate for Syracuse that they had the penalty. They had a nice drive going, nice rhythm going. That's a good start for the Syracuse Orange men offense.
The 5th-year senior Jack Stonehouse trying to flip the field. And a punt that is fair caught by Braylon Staley inside the 15-yard line. So now the up-tempo Tennessee offense will be back on the field. The last time the defense was on the field for Syracuse, this is what their head coach was telling them. Take a deep breath.
He sure was. And what did he tell us in the meeting? He said, look, I think my football team, although we're better, I think we're more talented. We're starting to get the body types that we want. He said, we're still a little immature. I think my role in this game is going to be to calm them down and kind of like step in here. It's not player-led yet on a wide basis as far as the leadership. I'm going to have to insert myself. There's an example of it. And they look like they're up to the challenge here today. They're playing well so far.
2 tight ends in the backfield. And that helps to pave the way for Peyton Lewis. 6 yards right up the middle.
There's the second head of the two-headed monster between Deshaun Bishop and Peyton Lewis. These guys have home run speed and they run the ball hard.
Play action. Aguilar gets loose. Aguilar. A first down and more. All the way out close to midfield on the scramble.
What
the freshman Antoine Delorier made the stop.
Heck of a job by Joey Aguilar as far as just avoiding the rush, pulling the ball down and picking up positive yardage.
Quick hitter to the sideline. Another hookup with Chris Brazel as we go down to Chris.
Yeah, they want them to stay calm, but watching that Syracuse defensive coaches telling their defensive front, we feel like you can win the battle up there. Make sure you're forcing that O-line to move their feet.
Yeah, you've definitely seen it as far as Syracuse's defensive front. They are really testing Tennessee's revamped offensive line. Remember the fantastic freshman David Sanders comes down with an injury. They had to make 3 moves really to fill that right tackle spot. And so now Syracuse is putting the heat on them up front.
Play action. Aguilar. Timing route to the sideline through the hands of Matthews.
I mean, what a beautiful route by Mike Matthews. Running the deep comeback. He ran it perfectly again. This is just an example of a quarterback and the wide receivers getting on the same page as far as the timing. Joey Aguilar had a penchant for delivering the ball high. It had something to do with his mechanics. Josh Heupel told us they've been working hard on it. And here we are at another key 3rd down. And you've already seen Joey Aguilar's legs become a factor in his football game with his ability to scramble.
They'll try and run for it, and they will get it. Peyton Lewis with a push past the line to gain. So a 3rd down conversion keeps the drive alive for Tennessee.
It's the good, tough run. It's a little power action, pull the guard, block down on the front side, and just get the tough, dirty yards. Now here again, now you're not opportunity for a play action shot maybe again.
That pass incomplete, intended for Braylon Staley. That'll be 2nd down and 10. You know, Joey Aguilar took his offensive line and wide receivers out to dinner, right, just to try to get to know them when he arrived on campus. And Matthews told us a funny story. He said, you know, he was treating, but he's also a California guy. They've got bad taxes out there.
Sure
so I didn't order a tomahawk. I got the petite filet. I wanted to go easy on him.
Hey,
that's chemistry between a wide receiver.
Mike Matthews knows. He's just a sophomore, but
that's
he
right.
knows.
Don't milk the quarterback. I want him to throw it to me. High throw incomplete. They tried the tight end screen to Ethan Davis. So again, Syracuse's defense, they have bent a bit, but they have a chance to get a stop.
Again, you're seeing this tendency for Joey Aguilar's passes to sail a little bit high on him. You noticed that on his tape at App State. Both offensive coordinator Joey Halsey and head coach Josh Heupel said they had worked on this, but it's something he's going to have to get under control because he's missed a few open receivers here, whether it be timing or his delivery. They just haven't been able to be on the same page.
Is that a footwork issue?
It is. It's a follow-through issue. Absolutely.
3rd down and 10. Aguilar stands in the pocket. That time he delivers a strike. No doubt about it. Hook up with Brazel for a 1st down.
And that's nice eyes by Joey Aguilar as far as holding the backer inside, just opening up that throwing window on the curl route to Brazel.
Boy, they waste no time. Here's Peyton Lewis. Tracked well by the Syracuse defensive front. Delorier came through to bring him down after a gain of a yard.
You see how they can just shift gears here, slow it down, not go hyper tempo, but then speed it up at any moment.
And they force with the quick snap Syracuse to jump. Looked like Deion Tank Wilson was in the neutral zone and made contact.
Offside. Defense, number 4. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So Tank Wilson makes it 2nd down and 4 with that penalty. And that will put Tennessee back in the red zone.
Tank Wilson, someone that the Syracuse coaching staff is really counting on. Had some injuries a year ago, but he's got the body type that they're looking for at 6'5", 305.
He's aptly named.
No question. And they're going to need him and George Rooks and Chris Thomas. That revamped interior of this defensive line, they're going to need it to be big against this rushing attack that you can see already can be potent.
10th play of the drive. Again, it's Peyton Lewis. 1st down. And it should be goal to go as he gets to the 10-yard line, it appears. And as Jaquez made the stop, but 1st and goal for Tennessee.
There you see that power running scheme, just getting double teams at the point of attack, pulling an offensive lineman, and these running backs just getting downhill. Peyton Lewis goes 212, Deshaun Bishop 208. And these guys run that ball downhill over and over, and then they take the play action shot.
Plenty of time on the play clock as they bring in that 2 tight end look once again. Tennessee does. Aguilar with the slant. Kitzelman makes the one-handed catch down to the 2-yard line. Great hands from Miles Kitzelman.
Just a little delayed release by Miles Kitzelman, who Joey Aguilar told us he's kind of developed the chemistry with. Look for him to be a a factor today.
Lewis powers his way into the end zone for a Vols touchdown.
Going to get a double team at the point of attack and pull the tackle around. You're just going to see him hit it downhill. Just old-fashioned football, just old-fashioned gap scheme football. And there it's just mano-a-mano in the hole. Peyton Lewis against Derek McDonald. Peyton Lewis won that one. We said it early in this broadcast. This running game for Tennessee is what they hang their hat on. The power running game. And it's showing up early.
12-play, 85-yard touchdown drive. And Lewis, this revamped offensive line for Tennessee looks pretty good early.
Yeah, all the different changes that they've made with the injury to David Sanders. So far, so good. 10-0 Volunteers.
We're just beginning a Labor Day weekend of college football. We cap it Monday night on ESPN. The debut of Bill Belichick on the sideline for North Carolina as the Heels host TCU. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern. Also available streaming on the all-new ESPN app. Saw them talk earlier today about how hard it is to scout North Carolina. They don't even wear uniform numbers in their practices. You watch their practice tape, you have no idea who's who.
The master of disguise.
A touchback on the kickoff. Our first chance of the season to say hi to Kevin Nagani.
Good afternoon, Bob. AT&T's keeping fans connected as we take a multi-view, which is showcasing a bunch of great games, events across our networks. Week 1 is here. Mississippi State early with that lead on ESPN. 2023 U.S. Open champ Coco Gauff on ESPN2 already up 1 set, looking to advance to round 4 of the U.S. Open. And Lewis's Pitt Panthers looking good and feeling good, up 14-0 on Duquesne over on the ACC network. Back to you guys.
It is great to have college football back.
And that absolutely is. And you heard that update from the Pitt Panthers now. I hear you, Kevin Nagandi. Keep them coming.
How important is this drive for Syracuse?
Oh, it's critical because they had great momentum going until the penalty.
Sean Willis gets it off to a good start.
You've seen Willis, Bob. We saw it earlier in the first drive, the hit that he put on Joshua Josephs. I mean, he goes 6'1", 235, and he talked to us about the fact that, look, his body fat is down. He's 235 pounds, great feet, a great personality, competitive character. Tennessee better get their pads low when this man is carrying the football because he is alone and he looks good here early on.
Yeah, Yassine Willis said he was at 15% body fat. That wasn't trim enough.
Yeah.
You had to get down to 9%. Well, I know how he feels. You want to be down at 9% body fat. That's exactly right. When it's time to hit the media buffet, I feel that way. Jump cut. And I think he's got a first down. By about the nose of the football. Arion Carter made the stop. Injury update with Chris.
Tennessee defensive tackle Jackson Moy is still in the injury tent with an upper body injury. He came out, heavily wrapped left arm, tried to give it a go, make a tackle on the sidelines, winced, had to go back into the injury tent.
And Nate Robinson continues to man that right defensive tackle spot. And now it's Will Nixon behind Angeli in the pistol. Play action, roll out. Angeli tucks it under and dives for maybe a yard. The ball pops out, but he was down. The officials immediately say he was down.
The runner was down. Second down.
Arion Carter, Jalen McMurray, both there.
Yeah, I think you see here, forearm is down. It's a correct call. They were trying to run what you call a little 3-level flood concept. The spacing wasn't right for it. That's why he had to pull it down. He had nowhere to go with the football. No one ready to receive it. Again, two offenses now trying to integrate a new quarterback into their system.
And they have to call timeout. Play clock winding down to 2, 1, and 0. And they throw a flag potentially for delay of game unless the timeout was called, and it was.
Charge
I think they got it.
Syracuse, their first. This will be a 30-second timeout.
You can see Angeli signaling to the sideline, I don't have the play call in my headset.
Yeah.
And there was less than 10 seconds on the play clock. They tried to rush it, but obviously Fran Brown realized this is not going to go well, so he called a quick timeout.
These are some of the kinks you're going to work out here in the first game. I mean, it's still in the first quarter. So, I mean, this is to be expected. You want to kind of keep it to a minimum. But I think all things considered, you know, there's been a little bit of up and down play on both of these offenses, but they have shown some glimpses already of what they want to look like philosophically this year. And it looks pretty good for both of them.
Syracuse, a 10-win team in the debut season for Fran Brown. That 10-win season tied Paul Pasqualoni all the way back in 1991 for the most wins at Syracuse ever in a debut season for a head coach.
Yeah, spectacular what Fran Brown was able to accomplish. He's one of the very, very best recruiters in all of college football, and he still has work to do, but he's got them going.
And now a completely different look after the timeout. Empty, 5 wide, 4-man rush. Angeli floats one over the middle. It's tipped and almost on the carom caught. Idris Farouk broke it up as that ball floated to Jonte Cook.
And he was a little bit late on his release, waiting for the wide receiver to uncover.
Flag down on the far side of the field.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 89 was covered up.
Will Tennessee take the penalty?
You're going to see it's right here. He's covered up. If he's going to be on the line of scrimmage, he's going to have to be off, but he's not. Makes the tight end, Dan Villari, ineligible.
I still don't think Josh Heupel has decided whether to take this penalty or not. Talking with the officials on the far side. When you take the incompletion, you make it 3rd down and 9.
Tennessee is elected to decline the penalty. It's 3rd down.
So Heupel takes the down rather than the 5 yards. And it will be 3rd down and 9 for Syracuse.
Leaning on that defense, expecting them to be able to get off the field in this 3rd down and longer yardage situation. You see they got some fresh bodies in here to rush the passer. 31, Caleb Herring, the junior, who I think is one of the best athletes on their team as well. You see him right here at the bottom of the screen. Keep an eye on him.
They show blitz. They'll back out. 4-man rush, but it still gets home as Angeli's got no chance. Arion Carter, a little delayed rush, and he was completely unaccounted for.
What a great look, a little simulated pressure. You're going to see him delay and then come down the pike. They're still only rushing 4 people, but they make it look like they're going to bring 5 or more. It's still only a 4-man rush. It's just a great disguise on the part of Tim Banks, a defensive coordinator who I think is one of the best in the country. And Arion Carter, we talked about him in the open. He can do it all.
We don't have a conversation about good defensive football where you don't bring up the name Tim Banks.
Tim Banks, is, I just think he is a fantastic defensive coordinator, great communicator, great strategist, understands personnel, and he has got some dudes to work with. Tennessee consistently is well coached in that area.
Delay game. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And even after the sack, Syracuse a little late getting their punt group lined up, and they take 5 more yards. So now Stonehouse will be kicking this away from about his own 10-yard line. Here's an opportunity for a return for the true freshman DeJuan Morris. He's going to call for a fair catch. That's a terrific punt all the way down to the 22-yard line by Stonehouse. 57 yards and no return as we take a look at who's bringing the heat, brought to you by the Sonic Smasher.
It's a nice job there by the Tennessee Volunteers on the part of Joey Aguilar. Seeing the pressure, escaping the pocket, using his legs to pick up a 1st down there. Good pass protection, nice delivery on the curl route, and then just the tough run by Peyton Lewis, just taking Darren McDonald and driving him back into the end zone. This running game is a staple. We've said it for the Tennessee offense, and they are marrying it perfectly with the passing game in terms of where they're calling the plays. Joey Aguilar just has to get a little bit better as far as his accuracy, his mechanics, just get consistent.
And now they've got a fresh running back in the game, Star Thomas, who led Duke in rushing last season. He's in for the first time to Aguilar's left. Instead, it's a slant, dropped. Boy, right on time to Brazel. And it got to his chest plate and bounced right off for an incompletion.
And if you're Chris Brazel, you've got to make this catch. It's right in the numbers. You got to get your hands situated so it's not bouncing off of your pads. And Chris Brazzell is a home run hitter. He's a guy who's played a lot of football. This wide receiver core, in order to get Joey Aguilar comfortable, they have to be dependable. He has to put it where it needs to. They got to work out the kinks.
Star Thomas, first down. He picks up 13.
Again, this gap scheme is just really working for Tennessee right now, meaning just blocking down, pulling guards, tackles, and getting the ball north and south.
Nice cutback as Thomas fights his way for about 4. Gary Bryant came up to make the stop, and Gary Bryant, a transfer from South Dakota, who reached the FCS semifinals last year with South Dakota. You said he popped on tape.
He absolutely does. Just plays with a lot of passion.
Aguilar, play action, timing route, perfect. Braylon Staley, first down in plus territory, 14 yards.
There's the play action game. You just hammer him with the run game, and then you just marry the play action game off of it. It's just classic offensive football. Just opens up those windows on the second level.
Where they waste no time. Great pull by Aguilar. And he doesn't slide. He takes on Devin Grant in the open field, lowers his shoulder.
And what did Josh Heupel tell us about the quarterback's responsibility as far as the run game? He has a big role in that as far as being able to control the front with this zone read type of scheme. Nice job by Aguilar there.
Star Thomas again. Tripped up. But he's got another first down and more. 14 more yards for Star Thomas to the 25 of Syracuse.
That time they just changed the blocking scheme, run the same little gap scheme type of look. This time pull the guard instead of the tackle. Same principles, just downhill power football.
They have the Syracuse defense on their heels, but they put the ball on the ground. At the mesh point, Aguilar coughed it up with Thomas, and Syracuse gets a gift takeaway. David Reese, the fumble recovery. A mistake at the mesh point and a big break for the Orange.
I mean, you can see right here, it just gets messed up. You can see Aguilar has got his eyes down the field. You know he's going to pull this. The ball just seems to hit off of the midsection of Star Thomas. Just an unfortunate execution error on the part of the quarterback and the running back. Just got to be more secure with the ball, make sure he's got a handle on it when he wants to pull it. These drive-killing mistakes have plagued both of these offenses so far. Again, to be expected.
That is just what Syracuse needed. Their defense was backpedaling on that drive. Angeli, play action. Lost the football. It is scooped. And it'll be a house call touchdown for Colton Hood. Knocked it out. Colton Hood, the scoop and score. Just one play after Syracuse got a takeaway. Tennessee takes it right back.
That's 2 series in a row that Nathan Robinson has made his presence felt in the pass rush. That time, a nice hit on quarterback Steve Angeli, gets the ball out. Colton Hood just running to the football, scoop and score. It's taught to you from day 1 of training camp.
17-0.
You're just going to see it right here. Defensive lineman Nathan Robinson. Just watch him continuing to work, continue to push the pocket. Keep your eye on the quarterback. You see the left hand come out. Steve Angeli doesn't have the ball secured. And then here comes Colton Hood. Johnny on the spot. Just run to the rock and then just go ahead and catch it in for 6. You got to keep 2 hands on the football. Got to be secure with it when you're in traffic like that. And this is just a swarming defense with a bunch of great athletes. And once as a defensive back, you see the ball on the ground and you get to turn into your former self. Maybe you were a running back or a wide receiver in high school. You know you're trying to get that ball across the end zone.
And Colton Hood gets the start today in place of Jermod McCoy, who is Tennessee's best defensive back. When he tore his ACL back in January workouts, still trying to come back, has returned to practice, not able to play today. His replacement scores a touchdown.
How about that? Colton Hood, the transfer from Colorado. You look at his tape out there. Real good man coverage guy. Great competitive character, and you see it there. Just flying to the football. That's just what Tennessee's defense is known for.
How hard now for Fran Brown to get his team to calm down when you've got a Tennessee defense that is rolling. Now, they don't normally scoop and score. The first time they scored a fumble return touchdown since November of 2023, but they play like this, in-your-face, stingy defense. This looks like the same Tennessee defense from last year.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for Syracuse now, it makes you a little bit one-dimensional. You know, now that you're down 3 scores, see, now you can unleash those pass rushers on them, Bob, and you just hope that offensive coordinator Jeff Nixon is able to maintain some kind of balance, because if not, this game could get out of hand.
He calls his son's number as Will Nixon runs one for his dad for about 3 yards. As Will Nixon started his collegiate career in Nebraska, was able to graduate with a couple of years of eligibility left at Washington, and decided, I want to go play for my dad, who's the play caller at Syracuse. And he is doing just that now with 30 seconds to go in the opening quarter.
They just got to stop hurting themselves, stop killing their own drives, and just put some plays together and see if they can get some points on the board.
Angeli to the sideline. Comeback route. Very close to a first down. Right at the line to gain the catch made by Tyshawn Russell. It looks like that might take us to the end of the first quarter. And it will.
At the end of the first quarter.
So Tennessee's offense has scored and their defense has scored. And we'll be back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
I know you want to go talk to your team. What will be your message right now?
We just got to stay focused and survive the surge. They're doing a heck of a job putting pressure on us from their defensive line and their secondary. And then from an offensive standpoint, they're just going real fast. We just got to be able to survive the surge, win in the red area. We'll be fine, though.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, nothing is going to rattle Fran Brown.
No.
And his calmness, you would think, is certainly going to translate to his team. We'll see if they respond.
Yeah, they just got to stop hurting themselves offensively, Bob, as we mentioned earlier. Get the quarterback some time. The receivers have been doing a nice job of running precise routes on the outside. They have a good scheme to go against some of the things that Tennessee likes to do. And they just can't find themselves in 3rd and long type of situations. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but that's football.
Willis and Nixon both in the backfield. Nice patient run to the sideline. Footwork for Yasun Willis. Well, again, Fran Brown, with what he's been through, his mom was pregnant with him at the age of 13. And he grew up in Camden, New Jersey, which back when he was a youth was one of the most dangerous places you could possibly grow up. But he had a village that helped raise him. His Uncle Charles took him to football practice, and for a while he moved in with his high school football coach, Mark Pace. And he had so many opportunities, Lewis, to make the wrong decision and go down the wrong road, and never really did.
And he said there were enough people who kept him out of making those decisions.
Angeli, over-the-shoulder opportunity, and there's the flag. Justice Ross Simmons had a step on Ricky Gibson.
It's a nice release.
Pass interference. Defense, number 1. 15-yard penalty. First down.
And you see Justice Ross Simmons just beats Ricky Gibson at the line of scrimmage. He panics a little bit at the catch point and puts his hands on the waist of Justice Ross Simmons. Syracuse has shown you they've got some speed and they've got some playmakers on the outside. Jonte Cook, the transfer from Texas. Tyshawn Russell's already showed up. Ross Simmons, Darryl Gill Jr. They've got some guys that they can get the ball to. They just got to give Angeli some time and be consistent with their execution.
The burner, Malachi James, now lines up in the backfield. Play action and a rollout for Angeli. Dumps one off Valari. He's got about 8 yards. Now, Fran Brown did tell us that, look, there were moments where I had hurdles to jump over in my life. I had to repeat senior year of high school.
Oh, yeah,
and that was an eye-opener for him, a wake-up call, as he told us, as Malachi James cut back for a first down.
And his resilience is something that's just absolutely spectacular. He's just so calm and poised, and it's about the journey with him. And he's trying to teach, as he said, he said, look, I'm trying to pour into these young men, because the better men I can make them, the better football players they're going to be. It goes hand in hand. And he is just a testament to that kind of character winning out in the end.
And they've got a first down as Syracuse trying to get themselves back in the game. Early second quarter.
Have some substitution issues on the part of Tennessee.
The ball's late, running a 12th player off the field. Angeli play action. Lobs one that's incomplete. Jay Cook tied up. Chris?
Fran Brown's upbringing is a huge influence on how he coaches these guys. He has an acronym DART. It stands for detail, accountable, relentless, tough. The idea is if I can get them to be men faster, they'll make better choices. Devin Grant told me it's something I think about when I'm not paying attention in class. Details, accountability. It's throughout my entire life because of things that I've learned from this man.
Those 4 pillars, I mean, it just applies to everything that you do. And the fact that these young men are taking it off the field and remembering it and all the life choices that they make, that's exactly what Fran Brown wants.
Nice fake by Angeli, but holds onto the ball and now has to throw it away. Wanted a throwback to the opposite side of the field. It wasn't there, and Josh Josephs does not give you much time to choke the ball down. He had to throw it away.
What he wanted to do is hit the tight end throwback, and you see he's going to get knocked down, and he can't get to him. You see him look. You see the tight end on the ground. He's trying to get up, and by that time, the defense is in hot pursuit. Nice play call on the part of Jeff Nixon, offensive coordinator. Unfortunately, the guy who was looking for it just wasn't available.
Syracuse 0 for 2 on third down. And looking at a blitz, possibly on 3rd and 10. Play clock down to 4. It's at 2. They get the snap off. Here is the blitz. One-on-one to the sideline. Incomplete. Ross Simmons, again the intended receiver. Hand-to-hand combat with Colton Hood.
And this is what Colton Hood is good at. You see his eyes. You see how his head is tilted down. He's looking at the waist of Justice Ross Simmons, not looking at his chest and shoulders where you can get faked out. And you see Fran Brown here just saying, hey, look, maybe can we get a pass interference, because there's some hand-to-hand combat going on.
And now, not quite in field goal range, but at the 35-yard line on 4th down and 10, not opting to punt. The Cuse will go for it. Let's see if they snap the ball. Play clock at 4 once again. It's down to 2. They do get the snap off. Angeli well protected. And he finds a crosser and Cook. A 4th down conversion inside the 10-yard line. Syracuse breathes a little life back into the first half with a gain of 29.
Again, what a nice route combination that offensive coordinator Jeff Nixon draws up against this zone coverage. And you're just going to see it. Double ends, and they just kind of high-low this intermediate dropper, and you're going to see it right there. He doesn't get enough depth. And you know, when there's no work in front of you, somebody's probably trying to come in behind you in this kind of zone coverage scheme. And there it was, a nice touch throw by Steve Angeli. It showed up on tape in the time he got to play at Notre Dame. He can layer those second-level throws. And he's been in a nice rhythm when he's had time. That's great execution on the part of Syracuse.
And you can see Bryson Eason, another defensive tackle, joins Jackson Moy on the sideline. 1st and goal. Willis gets a push. Well inside the 5. Down to about the 3-yard line, close to the 2. 2nd down and goal. Jordan Ross made the stop for the Vols.
Critical for Syracuse to come out of here with points, preferably with the touchdown. And you know some kind of ball handling is going to be involved here, as far as maybe a proof play, some rollout, some play action. The wide receivers have been able to get some separation on the outside a little. They got some one-on-ones at the top of the screen.
Angeli, the pitch. Willis looking for the pylon. He's in. That's a Syracuse touchdown.
great blocking on the end of the line of scrimmage here for Jasin Willis. Just watch it as it comes into your focus here. You see there the little zone read. You see him pitch it as Arian Carter takes Steve Angeli, but you see the blocking out on the perimeter by the wide receivers holding up the defensive backs that are really trying to keep that ball from getting outside. That's this great team offense. A great read by Steve Angeli. And Jasin Willis. Nice start.
How about Chris Button talks to Fran Brown, and Fran Brown says we'll be fine. And his team just goes out there and puts together an 11-play touchdown drive.
That's just great football character, great composure. They're growing up right in front of Fran Brown's eyes, just like he wants it.
So fresh. Come on.
The Aflac kickoff game on ABC, presented by Starbucks, is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz.
A response drive from Syracuse makes it a game again. Syracuse's first 3 offensive possessions netted 14 total yards. That last drive, though, 11 plays, 75 yards, and a touchdown. And a touchback here on the kickoff, Luke.
What a great job here on this speed option. Look at the blocking here on the perimeter, and then watch the conflict here of Arian Carter, number 7, at the point of attack. T-Lander can't get over. Here you see Joey Aguilar makes the correct read. T-Lander, 22, can't get out to the perimeter. Then here's on this second look from the progressive pylon cam. You're going to see it here. Jasin Willis just inside the pylon. T-Lander in hot pursuit, but just can't get there. It's this nice play calling, nice execution on the part of the Syracuse offense.
Sean Bishop pushes the pile for 2. As always, up-tempo, play action. Aguilar, he wants it all. In stride, he's got Staley. Touchdown! What an answer by the Vols.
Continuing to go after the freshman, Demetrius Samuel Jr. Run, play action. And Braylon Staley just runs a nice post route. Demetrius Samuel just not able to get out of his pedal, not able to stay on top of this route. Joey Aguilar showing you that big arm that he has. You see here they're playing like a cover 4 look, 4 across the board, but it's one-on-one essentially on the outside between Demetrius Samuel and Braylon Staley. And you see he thinks he's going up on a go route, so he opens his hips like he's going to defend the go route. He cuts it inside of him and runs the post. He's not able to recover. And what did they tell us, that being the coaching staff? They said, hey, listen, Joey Aguilar can drive that ball down the field. And there you see it. He is cooked. The safety is just caught too short. Devin Grant.
Two plays, a 73-yard touchdown. And we've got an injured player. That's Bennett Warren down for the Vols, so we'll step aside.
The college football playoff begins December 19th and concludes with the national championship January 19th on ESPN.
Just after Syracuse gets on the board, the 73-yard touchdown answer by Tennessee, and there is the 17-year-old Demetrius Samuel, who is being comforted by his teammates as much as possible. Lewis, over on the sideline, he is the second youngest player in FBS. He only turned 17 in April. He reclassified and arrived at Syracuse back in January as a 16-year-old. So he has his whole career out in front of him. Now he has to shake that off.
Yeah, he's having the welcome to the big-time college football moment right now. And clearly, Josh Heupel and Joey Halsey, the offensive coordinator, have targeted him. This is something he's going to have to work through. It's part of the game.
Another update with Kevin Nagandi.
Bob here with Booger McFarland in studio. Let's go to Columbus. Number 3, Ohio State striking first, C.J. Donaldson.
Young quarterback struggling, 33 yards rushing on that drive by the Buckeyes for the touchdown.
Julian Sanchez handing off the ball. Arch Manning has 24 total yards. Number 1 Texas trailing 7-0 over on ESPN. Excuse me. It's Southern Miss and Micah Davis with the concentration and holding on. Right now we're tied at 10 over on ESPN. Back to you.
It's been all Tennessee for the most part here in the first half against Syracuse, although the Orange did score a touchdown on their last possession. And now Steve Angeli looking for another answer. Squeezes one into a very tight window. And it looks like Cook held on, but they'll say incomplete. Knocked out of his hands and bounced back into his hands. Ty Redmond, true freshman, got the left hand around Cook for the knockaway.
Tennessee defensive backs, they all fit a certain profile. Ty Redmond, the freshman, 6'2", 192 pounds. You can tell they like him long and tall in the secondary. Lots of range and fluidity. It's what Tim Banks, his defensive coordinator, loves to coach, and they've got a fleet of them.
Angeli tries the other side. Again, it's an incompletion. Same pattern, just as Ross Simmons, the intended receiver. That time it was Colton Hood. Different side of the field, but the same result.
Yep.
3rd down and 10.
Colton Hood had a little handful of jersey on Justice Ross Simmons. Referee not able to see it. An old slick defensive back trick to make sure you kind of slingshot yourself in the position.
You say that like you know.
Done it once or twice, but I wasn't as fast.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 89 was covered and went downfield. The penalty is declined, 3rd down.
Syracuse actually had a man downfield. But a decline of the penalty by Josh Heupel makes it 3rd down and 10.
And this is just not where you want to be. Although Steve Angeli has made some great decisions, he's got to make sure he's secure with the pocket. Don't want to turn the football over down here in their own territory. Maybe bringing some extras in terms of the pass rush.
They need to hurry again. They get the play off, but it looks like a timeout may have been called before the snap. It was by Syracuse.
As you see, Fran Brown is trying to talk to his offense, trying to keep him calm.
Charge timeout. Tennessee, they're first. This is a 30-second timeout.
They say Tennessee called the timeout, although one of the officials on the field signaled Syracuse's way. Either way, an amazing football weekend to begin the first full slate of the season. Alabama, Florida State, LSU, Clemson. That's all coming up later on this afternoon and tonight. We'll be back here tomorrow with South Carolina, Virginia Tech, and then another top 10 matchup, this one between Notre Dame and Miami. Monday night, Bill Belichick in North Carolina host TCU. So the rest of the day, great doubleheader tomorrow, Monday night as well. And how about this quarterback matchup that we're going to see a little bit later on tonight?
Not too bad down there in Death Valley in Clemson. We've been down there a couple times as a crew. Garrett Nussmeier, tremendous bloodlines. He's going to have to play his rear end off against a ferocious Clemson defense, especially up front with Peter Woods leading the charge. And Kate Klubnik, it's your time.
Angeli over the middle. Cook pulls it in. 1st down. Clutch 1st down throw and catch. Angeli to Jonte Cook for 11.
Nice job by Jonte Cook. He saw danger coming now. He saw it coming and got down quick. That ball was up above his head coming across the middle. Had a defensive back who had him lined up. Great concentration, way to finish. It's important for Syracuse to keep their composure here and see if they can get some points and answer that big time throw by Joey Aguilar and put some points on the board and get them back in this ball game.
Yassine Willis finds a bit of a crease and has 5 yards. Andre Turrentine helped out by Arian Carter.
2nd down and 5, 2nd and 4. This is where you want to live. Now you have the whole playbook at your disposal.
Willis again breaks a tackle. First down and more. Breaks another tackle. And he is well into Tennessee territory.
Well executed play. Real nice blocking at the point of attack. You're going to see double teams at the point of attack. And then you see Yasin Willis get that ball out on the perimeter and get those big shoulders turned upfield. What a great kid to talk to. He was so excited about the fact that he knew that he was the one who was going to have to shoulder the load, primarily running the football. And he has more than lived up to that challenge.
Well, no LaQuint Allen. And that's a big hole, you would think, in this run game for Syracuse. But Willis and Nixon look like a very able pair. And that's 3 more yards for Nixon.
You see this offensive line. They are battling at the point of attack now. They're getting their pads down, getting some movement. The running backs are running hard with good pad level. The passing game has clicked.
Angeli, the quick count. To the sideline, Cook. Stutter steps inside the 30. Steps out of bounds inside the 25, all the way down to the Tennessee 24. The up-tempo work there for Syracuse. And now we've got an injured player. Again, for Tennessee defensively, looks like Tyree Weathersby is down.
Player injury.
Syracuse with a touchdown on their
on
last
the
possession and trying to stay in this game with Tennessee as we step aside. We've got a couple of Taco Bell Live Más student sections here in Atlanta. Only one student section and claim the title of Live Más student section of the year. Who will take home the trophy this year? Voting all season long. So after the injury timeout, Syracuse, they'll actually say that Jonte Cook stepped out at the Tennessee 30-yard line. Play action, Angeli sidearms one into the right flat, but Tennessee had it diagnosed. Jamie Tremble, the tight end, slipped free, but only able to pick up a yard.
That's a heck of a job by Angeli of even being able to get that ball off. Had to change his arm angle. Joshua Joseph's just screaming on him off the edge, unblocked. I really do like the composure that Angeli has shown here today. He's going to have to lead this team back. He's going to have to be big putting this ball in the air.
And now the official stop play before the snap for Syracuse.
Previous play is under further review to review the hit on the receiver for potential targeting.
So this is a booth-initiated review for possible targeting on the hit that Jamie Tremble just took. And this would be a big call. Be a 15-yard penalty and a possible ejection for Tennessee.
And the player in question is Jalen McMurray, the nickelback for Tennessee. It's hard to see from the angles that we have up here in the booth. Here we're going to get a look at it.
This has to be crown of the helmet.
You're going to see,
because you've got a player in Jamie Tremble that is a runner, so he's not a defenseless player. And I don't know that I would call that crown of the helmet. Would you, Lewis?
No, it's close. I mean, it's close. It's not. Look, his head. It's right at the top of the face mask. Matt, what do you think of this here?
We have Matt
After
Austin.
review, there is no foul for targeting on the play. Second down.
And Matt Austin, we might as well have you weigh in as well, even though we've just heard the decision. You think you got that one right?
I do, because it was kind of tough to determine whether he went head-to-head or if he went with the shoulder first. The receiver could still be determined defenseless. He only had a step or two to regain his balance. Could he really protect himself? So he could have still been defenseless, but I don't think the force of the contact was to the head. I think it was more shoulder, and the helmets just happened to click.
So I think we're all on the same page. It's second down and 9. The Notre Dame transfer, Steve Angeli. This is his second career start. Started the 2023 Sun Bowl against Oregon State when he was at Notre Dame. Trying to get his team back in it. Stands in the pocket. Back shoulder throw to the sideline. And it was a terrific one-handed catch by Ross Simmons. Colton Hood all over him, but couldn't stay in bounds.
You see Colton Hood, a lot of hands. You see him. You see the grab there at the end.
And he didn't hold on.
These Tennessee defensive backs play with a lot of physicality at the catch point. You're going to have to be careful. I love the fact that they challenge the football all over the field. Eventually, one of these calls is going to go Syracuse's way if they're not careful. This is a big third down. They need to get some momentum back if they're part of Syracuse. Angeli's got to make some good decisions here.
And they have to call timeout again.
Charge timeout. Syracuse, their second. This will be a 30-second timeout.
So with the play clock winding down, they're forced to call timeout once again. Again, this opening weekend of college football, Bob Wischusen here with Louis Riddick, Chris Budden. And as we said at the start, we've talked about it all the way through, this for Tennessee is their bread and butter, right? They have a tough defense to play against.
They sure do. You see, they challenge the football all over the field in the passing game, but you have to give Steve Angeli some credit. Like, he has withstood the pressure. He has stood in there, taking some big hits, delivering the football down the field. It's the Syracuse defense right now that is really having some issues with really defending this Tennessee offense, which, quite honestly, look, if you're Josh Heupel, you are absolutely pleased with the way they settled in the second quarter and started pushing the ball down the field, Bob. I mean, Joey Aguilar, when his mechanics are good, he can drive the football on those deep shots down the field, and this run and play action game is clicking right now.
Syracuse down to one timeout left. 8 on the play clock with an empty backfield. 5-man rush. Angeli under pressure, and down he goes. Edwin Spillman untouched with the sack for Tennessee.
And just a nice pressure on the part of Tennessee. And you're going to see Spillman. He's just going to hold this guys to the second level. You see the defensive tackle take the inside charge and just open up the window. You get a free runner on the quarterback. Look, Tim Banks, the defensive coordinator, has done a nice job of running some simulated pressures, making it look like he's going to bring 5 or more. They drop out and play coverage. This time they sit back, make it look like you're going to play coverage, but then they bring the pressure from depth. That's how you do it, that cat and mouse game. And Tim Banks is as good as anyone at it.
This has to be a pooch punt, I would think, and that's exactly what it is. On 4th down and 16. Can't imagine that Syracuse would go for it, but this is well executed. And it's all the way down inside the 2-yard line. So Angeli with the pooch punt, as they at least forced Tennessee to respect the fact that they might try for a desperation play on 4th and 16. And now Tennessee's offense, even with this 3-score lead, is backed up.
How about Joey Aguilar? Started off 6 for 13, but then he has found his groove. His mechanics have been clean on these big shots that he's been able to push the ball down the field. This wide receiver core that we asked him, like, what's the chemistry like, given the fact that Joey entered this process late as far as being integrated into this offense? We're getting some answers right now. As this game plays on, he's looking more and more comfortable.
Quick hitter, high, incomplete. Travis Smith Jr. had to climb the ladder. And again, there's that hurried throw from Aguilar. And as you said, his Achilles heel sometimes sails the ball a bit. Just did that.
Yeah, this time he's getting pressure off the edge, so I'm going to forgive him on this one. He's getting pressure off of the side. End man on the line of scrimmage. He's trying to get it over top of him. But yeah, that's something he's going to have to continuously work on. Keep the ball down.
Hayden Lewis. A little breathing room for the Vols as he gets out to about the 4-yard line. And that will take us inside of 6.5 minutes to go in the opening half. We have an injured player down. That's George Rooks for Syracuse, one of their starting defensive tackles. Again, Bob Wischusen and Lewis Riddick and Chris Budden. That's a potential loss for Syracuse defensively. They can't afford. They're a little thin in the middle of that defensive line.
Yeah, they tried to get bigger, tried to bring some guys in. George Rooks, the transfer from Boston College, is one of those guys. I think defensively overall here, Bob, this is key here. What do we got? 6:33 left to go in the half. They're down 3 scores. Can they keep good field position, keep them backed up, make them punt, maybe get a good return, and let Steve Angeli continue to kind of learn this offense on the fly? You saw Fran Brown trying to encourage him. What did he tell us? I know that, again, I'm going to have to be the guy that keeps this team calm because we just haven't reached that point yet in terms of these guys kind of self-sustaining. This is one of those moments right here. Can they get this game to within 2 scores before the half? This is a big, big third down for the Syracuse defense.
And a moment for Joey Aguilar as well.
That's absolutely.
If you can get a first down conversion here, this can be a drive that ends with a kick up the field for Tennessee and no points. That's still very successful if they just hold on to the football and get off their own goal line. 5-man front for Syracuse. And they're going to play it conservatively and run it. And Peyton Lewis is stopped a couple of yards short of the first down. Deuce Chestnut came up to make the tackle. A 5th-year senior veteran. That's a big play for Syracuse in their secondary.
No doubt. Him and his running mate, Devin Grant, making sure that Peyton Lewis can't break out of there onto the 3rd level. Now you got the scenario that I'm talking about. You keep them down in here. Now you got to have a clean execution on the part of your punt return team. Can you get some positive yardage here in a short field for your offense?
A little delay and an end-over-end kick. Davian Kerr floats left, fair catch called for, just across the 50-yard line. So Syracuse will start in Tennessee territory. And coming up today on the ACC network, Louisville hosts Eastern Kentucky at 3, and then Virginia will entertain Coastal Carolina at 6. We cap off the day with number 16 SMU hosting East Texas A&M at 9 Eastern. Each game also available on the all-new ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Five and a half minutes to go in the first half, down by 3 scores, but starting in plus territory. This feels like a must drive for Steve Angeli.
Without a doubt, and you see his stats there today. 8 of 15, 93 yards, been sacked 3 times.
Play action. Turnaround catch made by Justice Ross Simmons. Gets the drive going with a gain of 5.
And you see how offensive coordinator Jeff Nixon is trying to slow down this pass rush. Using the run game, using the play action passing game, trying to get these D linemen and these linebackers to kind of slow down.
Another technique, the design rollout. Sliding attempt made by Valari. Did he scoop it up? The Tennessee sideline thinks it's short hop, but the officials looks like are giving him the catch.
You're absolutely right. Move the pocket, play action pass. Ways in which you can try and slow down a ferocious pass rush. Great play calling.
Angeli to the sideline again, and tied up on the far side was Tyshawn Russell. Good coverage by Ty Redmond. 2nd and 10.
It's hard getting some separation on these corners on the outside. They're just so long and athletic.
That's a true freshman.
How about it? I mean, they've done a nice job here building this roster, especially on the defensive side. They've had success throwing the football over the middle off of play action. They've run some nice zone beaters over the middle. I'd like to see them attack that area of the field again.
Roll out to the near side for Angeli. Floats one on his offside. Flag out. Looks like it'll be pass interference as Jalen McMurray was there for Tennessee.
That's an easy call for the officials. Jalen McMurray, the ball kind of hanging up in the air.
Pass interference, defense number 6, 15-yard penalty, first down.
When the ball's kind of underthrown and late arriving, and you already have made a great break on it, you just kind of get your body oriented to where you don't interfere with the receiver and time your jump properly. It's one of the hard things that defensive backs have to do in playing the ball in the deep areas of the field. Fortunate break for Syracuse. Now they've got a fresh set of downs inside the plus or the minus 15 or plus 15. They've got to cap this one off.
Jelly pulls it. Shot to the end zone, incomplete. Tried to squeeze it into Jonte Cook, but another flag thrown on the near side of the field. This will go against Tennessee once again.
Offside. Defense, number 18, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Tyree Weathersby.
Yeah, it's just not, he's just right here on the end man on the line of scrimmage. You got to have your hand, you got to put your head behind the football, or put your hand behind the football, put your head behind your hand. You'll never fail. You'll never line up off sides. It's a lapse in judgment, but again, fresh set of downs for Syracuse. Tried to attack the middle of the field on that slant. The ball was a little bit late, a little bit behind the receiver. But I like the idea off of play action of them throwing the ball in the middle of the field, trying to find that zone void in the second and third level.
Direct snap, Wildcat. Now, Villari is a former quarterback, so he's kind of in his comfort zone taking the snap. He actually began his career as a quarterback in Michigan, transferred to Syracuse. They turned him into a tight end, really against his wishes. He thought about transferring out. Here's a handoff to Willis on second down and about 3 inside the 10-yard line. Now a big third down coming here for Syracuse with 4 minutes to go in the half. Quick snap, and Jelly ready. Willis right at the first down line to gain, but Tyree Weathersby brought him down. It's going to be 4th down and 1. And slow to get up again is Bryson Eason. So we have an injury timeout before the 4th down call for Syracuse with 3:48 to go. They have to go for it, you would think, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, Bryson, yeah, they sure do. Look, they got to see if they can cap this off here and get some points on the board in terms of a touchdown. Nice penetration on that play by Bryson Eason, who you mentioned.
They converted on a 4th down and 10 earlier. This 4th down and 1.
What do you think? A little play action, dump the ball over the middle, or are you going to run it here?
And Jelly looks over. Plenty of time on the play clock.
You see some confusion on the part of Tennessee, some late communication. Andre Turrentine, the safety, trying to communicate with the rest of the secondary guys. You see it there. They're still a little confused.
They run it with Willis, and he's got it. First down, Syracuse, goal to go inside the 5.
Just good blocking at the point of attack on the left side of that offensive line. T.J. Ferguson, Austin Collins, the center.
Nathan Robinson, the next defensive tackle to be down with an apparent injury for Tennessee. Remember, he came in and replaced Jackson Moy.
And just watch the blocking at the point of attack. T.J. Ferguson, number 69. Just turning out on the defensive tackle, Jamal Wallace. Creating enough of a seam, enough daylight for Yasin Willis to go ahead and convert.
And a little bit of a war of attrition on the interior of that defensive line for Tennessee that Syracuse might be able to exploit, Lewis, because Jackson Moy lost earlier in the game. We've seen Bryson Eason fight through injury several times to stay in the game. Nathan Robinson came off the bench. Now he's hurt. So they're starting to get 2 and 3 deep at defensive tackle on their chart.
They sure are. And David Hobbs, who basically backs up Bryson Eason, not playing today. Yeah, they're starting to test the depth of the defensive tackle room.
Chris, what does it look like down on that Tennessee sideline?
Well, I can add that Bryson Eason wasn't even out there on that play, was watching him, and he's rolling his right arm, looking like he has some pain in that right shoulder.
So this is the 3rd defensive tackle to be injured for Tennessee as they're helping Nate Robinson off the field. And there's Jackson Moy without his helmet. So who knows if he'll be able to return either.
The young guys are going to have to step up. Guys like Ethan Utley, Isaiah Campbell, these freshmen, they're going to have to maybe play in this football game. Jamal Wallace, redshirt junior, who you saw in the last play. With Bryson Easton back in the ball game.
First and goal, Syracuse. Once again, trying to get themselves back within 2 scores. Willis, nice move to cut it upfield, but gets shut down at about the 2-yard line. He picked up about 1.5 yards.
That's a heck of a cut, man. On that wind back, you see him just plant his foot in the ground, and you just see the corner Colton Hood going, hey, where'd he go? This is a critical series. Almost down inside of 2 minutes.
I have to think Syracuse will take the clock down to the 2-minute timeout. Why not? Tennessee does have a couple of timeouts left, but maybe limit the time that the Tennessee offense would have on the backside, as it's 2nd and goal from the 3. And that's exactly what we will have. Syracuse will let the clock wind all the way down to the stoppage.
This is a 2-minute timeout.
Tennessee with a 3-score lead, but Syracuse knocking on the door. Our friends Laura Rutledge, Roman Harper, and Tim Tebow from SEC Nation are here. And they're on deck with the State Farm halftime report. We'll check in on the Buckeyes right now, stifling Arch a bit at the Horseshoe. And, of course, very emotional. Lee Corso's final headgear pick. Top 10 battles the rest of the weekend. Later on tonight, they'll preview LSU Clemson. That game comes your way on ABC at 7:30 Eastern. Syracuse trying to find the end zone before halftime. 2nd and goal. Angeli to the goal line. Touchdown. Well-designed play. Jonte Cook able to squeeze it across the goal line right on his hip, courtesy of Angeli. And Syracuse does indeed make this a 2-score game once again.
And this is a nice route concept, getting a little man coverage. And you'll see it when we draw it up and take a look at it. Syracuse wide receivers just did this perfectly. Some defenders would say, hey, man, that's a little pick route combination, rub route combination. But they played it off perfectly.
Only bitter old defensive players would call that a pick.
No, I mean, it's exactly.
The rest of us call that a little mesh, a little rub at the goal line.
It's exactly what you should run down here. And they did it great.
So Syracuse hanging in there. Down 24-14 with 1:55 to go.
You see here, they're just going to get a little interference and then run this off right behind it. But watch how the receiver, as he gets into the body of the defender, look how he turns around. He's getting position, puts his hands up, like saying, hey, look, I'm not trying to pick him. I'm actually an eligible receiver trying to receive the football. But he creates just enough of a rub for Jonte Cook to get across the goal line. That's great execution. Here you see it from the pylon cam. Jeff Nixon, the offensive coordinator, drawing it up perfectly and them executing it perfectly. And there you see Steve Angeli able to get this back to a 10-point ball game here before the half. Now you're left 1:55 on the clock for this highly explosive Tennessee offense, Bob. And as you were saying in the break, is that what you want to do, considering how quickly they can strike?
So Jonte Cook's first Syracuse touchdown reception. The Texas transfer coming over, and Steve Angeli, the Westfield, New Jersey native, able to get his first Syracuse touchdown pass. Peyton Lewis returnable from the goal line. Just shy of the 25-yard line. They got Ryan Williams. Boy, is he special. This could be a heck of a combination. Ty Simpson, the Alabama quarterback, as they are arriving, getting set for what will follow our game here. Alabama, Florida State at 3:30 Eastern here on ABC.
Bob, the number of young wide receivers in college football right now who are just taking the sport by storm is just amazing. We're going to see, we've seen it here today. We're going to see some more of it tomorrow when we see South Carolina. These young guys are coming into college football blazing.
The ball pops free. Is it an incompletion? It didn't look as if that was a completed pass, and it was not. Brazel couldn't haul it in, and now he gets up with a limp.
That's a nice hit by Deuce Chestnut, just driving on this little spot route. You're going to see Chestnut coming downhill, number 2, right there on your screen. puts his shoulder pads right into the rib cage of Chris Brazzell.
Slipping under contact and avoiding a hit in the backfield. Deshaun Bishop, who now breaks free. Bishop dragged down from behind. From a possible tackle for loss for Syracuse to Bishop being brought down by Chris Peel all the way down at the Syracuse 28-yard line, it appears, a gain of 47. Aguilar, quick hitter. Mike Matthews makes a man miss. He's into the red zone. Down to about the 12-yard line. And now falling down is Demetrius Samuel Jr. And the Tennessee crowd not buying it.
This isn't a good look. This one looked blatant, where he just kind of hit the dirt. He was walking back to the huddle, getting lined up. You know that they're trying to crack down on this kind of thing, faking injuries. And I don't want to assume anything about any player, but this one to me looked suspicious. I hope that there isn't an injury. You're going to see it here on your screen. You're going to see it right here. You had two guys actually do it.
Deuce Chestnut was about to
take a knee.
Yeah, he was about to take the same injury as well.
I mean, that's just not the kind of that's just not what college football wants. They're trying to get this out of the game. I mean, we understand strategically, why defenses try to do this when they're on their heels, and clearly Syracuse is on their heels right now with explosive plays that have been happening. But this is something you're going to wind up getting penalized for if referees catch it. And you can just see it right here.
Now the Tennessee crowd is booing, but to be fair, earlier we saw Tyree Weathersby for Tennessee do something very similar when Syracuse was going up tempo, and they seem to have Tennessee's defense.
But look, if you're serious about
so it's all across college.
If you're serious about getting this out of the game, then you have to call that. You have to punish offenses or defenses for doing it. And that right there looked like a plain example or a clear example of it, but onward we go.
Coming up on a minute to go in the half. Deshaun Bishop. Inside the 6.
Back to that power running game they go. Double team at the point of attack. Pull the backside tackle. And just let these running backs just smash it up between the guard and tackles.
Plenty of time for Tennessee with 2 timeouts. They run it again with Bishop. This time he gets all the way down close to the goal line. Is he in? Yes! That last little push for a Tennessee touchdown.
You see Deshaun Bishop. Looks like he gets that across. He breaks the plane. Here from the pylon cam. His knee is up.
Rolling on the field was a touchdown. Plays under further review.
It's close. You see the forearm hit the ground. You can see at the tip of that ball that broke the plane at that point. His lower body looks like it's still clear of the ground. So nothing down, nothing down. You see the forearm about to go down, but the hand goes down. Forearm is coming down. Forearm is coming. Look like, are you down right there?
I think you can make an argument the nose of the football touches the goal line as the forearm comes down, but if it's simultaneous, then that's a touchdown.
Yep, that is super close. You see it right here. Lower body's off the ground. Hand down. No forearm, no forearm, no forearm. Did you call that forearm right there? I think they may call this back.
Worst case scenario for Tennessee, they will place the ball almost with the nose of the football touching the goal line.
Yeah,
that's how close it was. And again, let's bring in our officiating expert, Matt Austin. And Matt, how much will they split hairs here if it was called a touchdown on the field?
Well, the issue here is it has to be clear and obvious to the replay official to overturn the call. Lewis nailed it. It is extremely close. Was the elbow down or forearm down before the nose of the ball got there? Without a view to see exactly when the forearm hits, I think they have to let it stand or uphold the call.
That is super close. You see what Tennessee trying to do here philosophically. They just change up the blocking scheme, but they're just going back to smash mouth football. And running those power schemes, getting double teams, and you see Josh Heupel there.
After review, the runner was just short of the goal line with his forearm touching down. It's first and goal at the half-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 40 seconds. 4-0.
Well, if they actually put the ball at the half-yard line, then they're giving Syracuse a break because the nose of the ball should just about be touching the goal line.
Yeah, he looked a little closer than that, but you could see that the ball hadn't broken the plane. It just slightly, when that forearm looked to me like it had made contact with the ground.
By the way, Demetrius Samuel has made a miraculous recovery. He is back on the field.
Yeah. Well.
And the clock rolling here for Tennessee, and why not? They have 2 timeouts. The ball's at the half-yard line, so they can easily use those timeouts and run 3 plays from here. Another chance for Bishop to polish it off, and he does. Tennessee touchdown, as this one will absolutely stand. And that missed tackle on Bishop in the backfield before the long run becomes a backbreaker for Syracuse.
These running backs are just so physical. It's just one-on-one. It's one-on-one Deshaun Bishop against Devin Grant. And on the long run, Devin Grant was the one who missed Deshaun Bishop on the perimeter after his teammate Deion Wilson had missed him behind the line of scrimmage. That's a heck of a series for the Tennessee running game, which, as we have talked about, has been a staple of Josh Heupel since he took over.
So each time Syracuse has managed to drive the ball and score a touchdown, the Tennessee offense has answered right back with a score of their own.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to answer. I mean, this is one-on-one at the goal line, just like an old-fashioned tackling drill. And Deshaun Bishop, we knew coming into this game, is as tough as a runner as there is in the SEC and as there is in college football. He showed it a year ago. He's showing it now. And that combination of him and Peyton Lewis is going to be a problem. Once they get David Sanders back, the fantastic freshman, and they're able to continue to develop this offensive line, and if Joey Aguilar can continue to develop his consistency as far as his accuracy, keeping the ball down in the middle of the field, you know he can drive it outside, and this wide receiver core continues to develop. Tennessee's got a little something going for him here this year.
Aguilar, the eyebrow-raising number, of course, coming from Appalachian State, for all the interceptions, throwing 24 picks in 2 years. He threw more interceptions in 2 years at Appalachian State than the 4 quarterbacks have thrown in 4 years under Josh Heupel at Tennessee. So he just needs to cut down on the giveaways. Certainly has enough talent around him to be just as good as they were last year offensively. And the answers continue for Tennessee as they put 31 on the board against Syracuse here in the first half. Aguilar with his first touchdown pass. A 73-yarder.
With a sideline warning.
Steve Angeli has fought the pass rush. And also a fumble for a scoop and score as Tennessee's defense on the Colton Hood touchdown has chipped in as well. Syracuse will start the third quarter with the ball, but once again they find themselves down 3 scores.
Yeah, you just see again their Achilles heel from a year ago, that being the Syracuse defense, run defense, yards per play, yards per rush, over 5 last year. Today, Tennessee averaging just under 8 yards per rush, especially with that long run contributing to boosting that average up. Got to figure out a way.
And Shelley lost the ball, and it looks like he was bailed out as Josh Josephs knocked it free, but Demetrius Weatherspoon, his tackle was there to gather it in.
Watch this move. Beautiful. stab inside, come back outside, get that upfield arm off you, turn the corner. That's textbook stuff right there. That's textbook NFL-style pass rush. That's what you expected to see out of this Tennessee front coming into this game. As you see, Josh Josephs happy with his contribution here in this first half. I mean, look, the story of the game is really Tennessee's physicality on offense and the inability of Syracuse, Bob, to kind of handle prosperity, right? They get a score, but the defense isn't able then to get a stop. And it just sucks the air out of everything that they're trying to get accomplished on offense. That's how you wind up with a 31-14 score.
Let's go down to Chris.
Coach, what have you thought about how your new quarterback has managed the offense?
I thought he's handled himself really well, been a good decision maker, made some plays down the field. We got to keep coming here. There's some things we can clean up all phases.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
3-score lead at the break for Tennessee. The State Farm halftime report with Laura Rutledge, Roman Harper, and Tim Tebow next after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. Back to the Aflac kickoff game. Orange everywhere you look here in Atlanta, and a big first half for the Orange that calls Knoxville home. Tennessee 31, Syracuse 14 at the break. Bob Wischusen, Lewis Riddick, Chris Budden just about set for the start of the second half. There were questions about both of these teams, and we start with Tennessee coming into this afternoon. Another new quarterback, losing some production at wide receiver, losing a first-round pick at pass rush, and they answered a lot of those questions in the first half.
They sure did. They showed that the quarterback question may have already been answered. Joey Aguilar had a nice second quarter in particular, and defensively the pass rush has really stepped up right out of the gate, and it ended that way.
Well, let's take a look at today's unstoppable performance presented by Ram Trucks. Speaking of the pass rush.
Yeah, here you're going to get Nathan Robinson with the strip sack, and then you're going to see Colton Hood just pick it up and return it for a scoop and score situation. But this is really what Tennessee wanted to see. Joey Aguilar here against cover 4. The play action, you see the safeties get caught short, and then he just goes up over the top to Braylon Staley. That's this textbook 101 offensive attack. And then you have the pass rush. Joshua Josephs, we highlighted him in the open. That is a Sunday-style pass rush move right there. And you see the stats just bearing itself out. 336 yards in the first half, 4 sacks. That's winning football.
Let's go down to Chris Budden.
Well, Syracuse got an earful from Fran Brown. They didn't get out here until there was less than 2 minutes left on the clock in halftime. He said, we've spotted them 17 points. We said going into this game, we weren't going to get out hit. We weren't going to get out hustled. What are you going to do for the next 30 minutes? He thought Steve Angeli has done a good job managing the offense. He said that Tennessee threw a couple looks that he wasn't prepared for, but overall has been pleased with the way that he's managed it.
Well, they have had a couple of touchdown drives to answer Tennessee, but each time that Syracuse has scored a touchdown, Tennessee has answered right back. 73-yard bomb thrown by Joey Aguilar, and then that 6-play, 75-yard touchdown drive before halftime with a big missed tackle in the backfield. Can Syracuse make this a 2-score game again as they will start the third quarter with the football? We're about to find out.
Look, Bob, I agree with Fran Brown. I think the offense has been adequate as far as the quarterback play is concerned. And Steve Angeli making his second career start. I think he's managed it well, minus not keeping 2 hands on the ball in the pocket when he got strip sacked by Nathan Robinson. But the offense has had its moments. It's just that, as you said, every time they have a moment, the defense goes, well, you know what, we're going to make it a little more difficult on you. And they have to start getting some stops if they want to have any chance of getting back in this game.
The 2023 Sun Bowl when he was at Notre Dame against Oregon State, the only previous start for Steve Angeli before today. And a tough way to begin your stint at Syracuse against a defense that in the SEC last year held 10 of 13 opponents under 20 points. Angeli, though, going up top into double coverage to start this half, and it's broken up. Almost a predetermined throw for Darrell Gill Jr. And Idris Farouk playing center field was there. He put that right into double coverage.
He sure did. Look, he never looked away from him. And as you mentioned, Idris Farouk was the offside safety, the weak side safety, who just read the quarterback's eyes and just kind of drifted to the appropriate hash mark and basically just dropped an interception because he was in perfect position.
Last season, Syracuse was the only FBS school with 5 players with at least 500 or more yards receiving. The only returning player, Darrell Gill, and he doesn't have a catch yet. This ball batted at the line. And on a dive, it's intercepted. The concentration from Jeremiah Thielander. McMurray got the deflection, and the linebacker located the football. It's a takeaway for the Vols to begin the half.
You're just going to see the pressure coming off the slot from the star position, Jalen McMurray, and then you see Jeremiah Thielander. He's coming on the blitz as well, and you see him there. He's just looking, trying to locate the football, lays out and picks it off. Again, there you see the pressure. McMurray times his jump perfectly. Thielander stretching out and completing the play. Again, Tim Banks, the defensive coordinator. Fran Brown talked to Chris Budden about the fact that Steve Angeli has seen some looks that he really wasn't prepared for. Tim Banks is throwing everything at him. All kinds of different looks. Simulated pressures, 5-man pressures, zone pressures, everything.
Star Thomas inside the 10-yard line. He picks up 8 on first down.
And now Josh Heupel back to this power running game again. Down on the front side, just getting the angles and then pulling a guard or a tackle backside and telling the backs just run it downhill.
Thomas again. Shoves his way to the goal line and bull rushes to the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. Flag down at the line of scrimmage. We'll see if it stands.
Personal foul, illegal low block, offense number 0. 15-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's Ethan Davis, the tight end, that commits a personal foul that erases the touchdown.
You're going to see him come across the formation right here, block and man on the line of scrimmage. Watch him go low into the knees as the defender is engaged. You're going to see him just go low, trying to cut him out of the hole, just trying to get him on the ground. Again, you're going to see him come across the formation. And you see David Reese, end man on the line of scrimmage. The physicality of this Tennessee offensive front right now with their gap scheme, power running game scheme is really taking its toll.
Aguilar on the out to Braylon Staley. To the 14-yard line.
There you saw the protection. The pocket was absolutely perfect. He can just stand in there, work on his mechanics, and just drive that speed out. That out route to Braylon Staley on time, in rhythm. If you're Josh Heupel, that's just exactly what you want to see.
10-yard gain, and that makes it 3rd and manageable. 3rd down and 7 for the Vols. Keeper for Aguilar. First down. Did the ball pop out? Syracuse thinks it did. They say he was down.
And you see Deuce Chestnut just trying to tomahawk that ball out of there. Down on the ground. Ball's not out. Deuce, Devin Grant lucky to escape here. Got a player down on the field.
And that's Devin Grant.
Yeah, I think he got rolled up on at the end of the play. I just saw that, you know, in my screen, in my monitor that I'm looking at. At the end of the play, he got rolled up on.
He came up with a limp, and this is not a player mimicking an injury. This looks about as legit as it gets, as he came out of the pile, hopping into the end zone.
Yeah.
Seemed to be in a lot of pain.
Yeah, Joey Aguilar, as he went to the ground, rolled up on the back of Devin Grant's legs. One of those situations that every football player dreads. He's hoping that he's all right. He looks like he's in a lot of pain.
We've got a stellar SEC Network football lineup rolling on at 4:15 Eastern. Arkansas and Alabama A&M. And then we'll cap the night with Ole Miss playing their opener against Georgia State. Also, 18th ranked Oklahoma, 15th ranked Florida, and Vandy will all stream on SEC Network Plus and the all-new ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Well, Devin Grant, the transfer from Buffalo, who came in last season, mostly played special teams, but steps in as a starter this year. And he said, you know, when you enter the portal, it can be scary. There's a lot of uncertainty about where you're going to end up, but he found the home at Syracuse. Handoff start Thomas. And this time, the Syracuse defensive front swarms. Anwar Sparrow in the middle of things for the Cuse. And he may have lost a yard. Make it 2nd down and goal.
And right now at this point in time, it's a gut check for Syracuse. And you can tell defensive coordinator Elijah Robinson, I'm sure, is challenging his unit to say, hey, look, they're not doing anything from a schematic standpoint that we haven't seen them do before, especially this power running game. This is really just mano a mano. How do you want to handle it? How do you want to respond?
Play action. Aguilar, slant, knocked down. Deuce Chestnut was playing center field, and it looked like he reacted as if he thought he would have picked that ball off had Anwar Sparrow not knocked it down.
And you're going to see he's trying to hit the slant route. Sparrow times it up perfectly. And he was coming from the backside thinking maybe he could steal one, Bob. But that's what Syracuse needs right now. They need something to pump life into their football team. A big turnover, a scoop and score, a pick six. They need something because right now Tennessee is rolling.
3rd down and goal. Aguilar out of the pocket. Floats one end zone. Touchdown. Leaking out of the backfield was Star Thomas. And the running back has his first Tennessee touchdown reception. And the Vols extend their lead.
Just a really nice job by Joey Aguilar going through a full field. We watch his eyes. They start over here, and he works it backside, steps up in the pocket as he's able to get the rush to come in behind him. You see him. He's trying to look for that little smash route coming across the goal line, feels the pressure coming off his backside, escapes out the pocket to his left, and this just throws a nice, perfect touch pass in the end zone. If you're Josh Heupel again and offensive coordinator Joey Halsey, you're going, I think we answered. We may have got some answers at the quarterback position.
And once again for Tennessee, Lewis, complimentary football. You get the interception, and then the offense converts.
Exactly. I mean, this turnovers is just a big play on the part of the Tennessee defense created by Jalen McMurray, and then just a full field read, escape out the pocket. It doesn't get much better than that. If you're Joey Aguilar, that's a successful way to start this second half.
Welcome back to ABC College Football, presented by Starbucks. 2.5 minutes gone by here in the 3rd quarter, and another momentum swing towards the Vols. They get a takeaway, they get a touchdown, and they have a 38-14 lead over Syracuse. Our Aflac kickoff game, the first of 2 here in Atlanta. We get a chance to see Lenora Sellers.
Cannot wait.
Tomorrow when South Carolina takes on Virginia Tech in the opener for those 2 teams. Let's check back in with Kevin.
Bob, Arch Manning's first road start has been overshadowed by Matt Patricia's Ohio State defense. Boog, the Buckeyes get the 4th and goal stop right here.
I love the quarterback sneak call, but go to where there's daylight to the left-hand side. Bad play design there.
Arch didn't throw the ball downfield a lot, but when he did, you can't do this.
No doubt, Kev. Arch, the first pass, we've seen him force it a little bit. Maybe his first road start getting to him a little bit.
Jermaine Matthews Jr. with the pick, and number 3 Ohio State leading number 1 Texas 7-0 after 3 quarters. Back to you guys.
Lewis, you kept looking at that score, wondering if there was some kind of a weather delay.
Yeah, that's not the score I was anticipating. I thought they'd be able to generate a little bit more offense. Still a quarter to go, though.
Tunnel screen. Justice Ross Simmons found the tunnel and gets to midfield before he's brought down.
Again, Syracuse has its moments, man. They have their moments offensively where they have the right play called at the right time. It's a well-coached offense. Jeff Nixon has NFL an NFL background, the offensive coordinator. He knows how to scheme up a defense. And they've had their fits and starts, but it's just like the personnel for Tennessee just gets to overwhelming them, then, especially the front seven.
Will Nixon picks up a first down. Well, with Kyle McCord at quarterback last season, they were the #1 passing offense in America. Jump cut for Nixon. Speed to the edge. That should be good for another first down for Syracuse. To the 37-yard line of Tennessee before Caleb Beasley rode him out.
Those are two good, well-executed plays for Syracuse offense. Now they just got to be in no huddle mode for the rest of this game. They can't hurt themselves.
Roll out for Angeli. Incomplete. That's just a miss. Jonte Cook was wide open. And an errant throw makes it 2nd down and 10.
You just wonder, like, what's the miscommunication there? Is it just a miss? Is Jonte Cook supposed to settle up a little sooner? Like, you just don't know those things without being on the headset with these coaches and knowing how they put it in. But it just puts you now in 2nd and long situation. It just makes it harder for you.
Screen to Cook. Nothing there. Oh, I talk about rallying up to make the stop. Tyree Weathersby was there. Thielander hustling over. That's a loss of a yard, it looks like, on the screen to Jonte Cook.
Jeremiah Thielander, what a great interview he was when we met with him and Arion Carter together. These guys are the tip of the spear without a doubt. They are the alphas on this team. It was funny, Josh Heupel told us, he said, those two know it, we know it, right. Players in the locker room know it. Nobody messes with those two guys. They lead the charge. And there's an example of how they lead the charge on the field.
3rd down and 11. Angeli finds a hole in the zone and picks up the first down to Justice Ross Simmons.
That is a great high-low combination here, trying to pick on the flat defender. You're going to see Justice Ross Simmons. He's the outside guy, just running into that zone void as you get the clear out, and he puts it right on him, Steve Angeli. Well-designed play.
Sin Willis inside the 10-yard line. 7 more yards.
That's what I'm talking about. They have some really good schemes here in Syracuse. Obviously, as you mentioned, they wouldn't throw for 4,000 plus a year ago if they didn't.
And is that Arion Carter that is down? Looks like it is. So one of those two alphas at linebacker in the middle of that Tennessee defense is hurt. We'll step aside while the trainers tend to Arion Carter.
The Aflac kickoff game on ABC, presented by Starbucks, is brought to you by Ram Trucks, official sponsor of the college football playoff. Nothing stops Ram.
Back in 1996, Lee Corso put the Brutus head on as his first headgear pick, and today capped a nearly 40-year run at ESPN by putting the Brutus head on for his last headgear pick. And yesterday, the College Football Hall of Fame unveiled a portrait of Coach Corso in a display case commemorating his time as a player at Florida State, as a coach at Louisville, Indiana, and Northern Illinois as well. Saturday mornings just not going to be the same. It's going to take some getting used to without Coach Corso. Sin Willis bobbing and weaving inside the 10-yard line for Syracuse, about 1.5 yards short of a first down to make it 3rd and short. But there were a lot of tears shed, I'm sure, on that College game day set today.
You know, that's what college football is all about. It's all about the pageantry and the passion and the connectedness of the fan bases all over.
Will Nixon gets a push. 1st and goal, Syracuse.
And Lee Corso kind of embodies all of that. He sits on top of that passion because he's the one who makes you passionate about the game with, like, every Saturday. I mean, I can't really even explain this, how much you look forward to Saturday mornings and the anticipation building up to the noon kickoffs and then throughout the day. And he's synonymous with that. He just is. And it's just, he's had a great, great, great run. I mean, it's been so cool to watch it as a fan.
1st and goal, Syracuse inside the 5. Willis in motion. Play clock down to 1. It goes to 0. Flag out. Did they get a timeout call? We have seen this multiple times for Syracuse, struggling to get the play off and being forced to call timeout.
Syracuse. This is a 30-second timeout. It's their first of the half.
And Fran Brown had to run down the sideline to get that timeout recognized before a delay of game penalty was called.
These are these growing pains again. The drop-off that occurs when a guy like Kyle McCord leaves. His mastery and his command that he had over this offense, and then you have someone new. He's just making his, remember now, he's making just his second career start, learning a whole new system against a very, very, very formidable opponent. And there you see the drop-off. Now, obviously, the opponent has something to do with that. I mean, this defense is going to be one that's going to have to be reckoned with all season long in the SEC and beyond, that being Tennessee. So it's a heck of a game to start off with, but the schedule doesn't get much easier for Bob either.
Not for Syracuse.
Is running a gauntlet this year.
So after the timeout, second down, or rather first down still, pardon me, and goal inside the 5. Willis back near the line of scrimmage. Now, you mentioned the Syracuse schedule. They play 5 ranked opponents. Texas is the only other team that has 5 opponents on their schedule that are ranked preseason and will have to play them all on the road. And that's what Syracuse, at least as things stand right now, they'll have to do. They've got Tennessee, Clemson, Notre Dame, and SMU all on their schedule. All 4 of those teams were in the college football playoff last year. Every FBS opponent, 11 of them for Syracuse, went to a bowl last year. Willis short of the goal line. It'll be third down and goal. So they're really just getting a difficult schedule started today, Lewis.
Yeah.
With Tennessee as their opponent.
And as Coach Brown told us, he said, look, year 2 is really when you kind of make your imprint on a program. It takes about that long. He knows that there's still work to do.
Willis leaps, puts the ball out to the goal line and breaks the plane for a touchdown. That little reach from Yassine Willis got it across the chalk. And Syracuse has their 3rd offensive touchdown.
What a heck of an individual effort on the part of Yassine Willis. And there you're going to see he's going to take to the air, stretch the ball. There it is. Easy to confirm.
Now Syracuse is going to go for 2. If they get it, technically we would be back in a 2-score game.
Yep.
Because if they get this, they're down by 16. So they're going to go for 2 to try and get back within 2 scores. A go for Dos, brought to you by Dos Equis. Angeli tries to throw for it. Rifles one right through the hands of Alari. So they're down 18. It's still a 3-score lead for Tennessee, but the math certainly there, Lewis, indicated it was worth the risk for Fran Brown.
And he had him open, but you know what? I think it was Joshua Josephs again, makes him alter the throw, and it's off target.
Time for our Aflac trivia question. And why not make it about Coach Corso? He made his 431st and final headgear pick today. Lewis, who do you think he's selected the most over all these years? Not going to give you much time to think about it.
Yeah,
it's got to be somebody that's been really good for a really long time.
I think it might be. I think it might be Brutus.
Maybe the pachyderm from Alabama.
Yeah, that might be it too.
Well, the answer to our Aflac trivia question, his most made pick over nearly 4 decades. You had it right. Brutus.
What a testament. Look, that has been a university that has had a heck of a run as a football program. Looks like they're having a heck of a run today so far, too.
Usually he was successful over the years when he chose Ohio State. And he chose them for his final pick earlier today. DeJuan Morris, true freshman at running back, stumbles ahead for about 2.
More of this power running game, just continuing to change up the look. This time they pull the center and they let Sam Pendleton get in on the party a little bit. Josh Heupel just not straying very far from what the identity of this offense has been.
No gain on second down for Morris. Well, they had the SEC Offensive Player of the Year last year with Dylan Sampson. And he alone averaged about 115 yards per game and had 22 touchdowns. As we have an injured Syracuse player, it looks like Tank Wilson is down. Now they've got a stable of running backs that are trying to replace Dylan Sampson, but with an update on Fran Brown trying to keep his team in the game, we go down to Chris.
Yeah, he has certainly tried to steady the waters before that last drive, brought his team together, and it was a lot of the same discussion that they had at halftime of, we are not going to get out hustled. I need all of you to just do your job. Remember the details. Stick to your eye discipline. Be responsible for what you're supposed to do. Understand that this is just the first game, so please stop panicking. And the last thing he said was, understand why you're out there.
I mean, it's a great message. It really is. And see, that's the thing also that I think in the longer run, in the big picture, you have to remember. This is just the first game of a long season. And there you see Deion Wilson, who battled injuries last year. That's just a guy who they need that body type. You see those dimensions on your screen, 6'5", 305. Elijah Robinson, their defensive coordinator, who is a heck of a recruiter as well. As Fran Brown said, look, we needed to get bigger on the defensive line, and his return was being counted on. They'll miss him tremendously if he's out for any kind of period of time, as they missed him a year ago.
Well, they lost Tank Wilson last year, only 4 games into the season. He got hit with appendicitis.
And yeah,
that surgery then knocked him out till the bowl game.
That's right. And so again, if you're Fran Brown, like he told us, like he knows the role that he has to play as far as keeping this team calm and composed. Look, I know that they're down 3 scores. But they got to continue to fight and continue to build this football team.
3rd down and 8. Here comes a blitz. Aguilar well protected. A miss. Staley hoping for a flag. Nothing pops out. Davian Kerr was there in coverage.
You know, you see Kerr just trying to play that stack alignment along with Demetrius Samuel. They sorted out well. He's able to play aggressive at the catch point.
Only the 2nd time that Syracuse has forced Tennessee to punt today. And Davian Kerr will be the punt returner. Rugby style kick from Ross. And it bounces. Did it hit a Syracuse player?
It came awful close.
Tennessee thinks it may have glanced off of a Syracuse player. Fielded on a bounce.
I think it did, Bob. I think it
by William Wright. And did it hit Kerr? This might be Tennessee ball.
I think you're going to see it clip his right calf, right heel, maybe.
Was not touched by the receiving team. Plays under further review.
That's hard to see. Clip that one, no. See his towel right there. Clip that left foot. It's hard to see from that angle.
Kerr has his head turned, and he never really reacts as if it bounced off of him.
Maybe get another look at it. That's where they may be calling. I think it may have clipped that left heel. Or maybe the towel. It's either his left heel or the towel. The ball did look like it changed direction. Its trajectory, although it could have done that on its own without it touching his heel. That's so close, it's so hard to see.
Well, it was ruled on the field not to have touched it. So it has to be, as Matt Austin told us earlier, clear and obvious that it did. It does look like it brushes up against the towel.
Yeah, that's what I initially thought too. Well, that's hard. That doesn't look clear and obvious to me. I think it is. I think it does.
And let's bring in Matt Austin. And Matt, kind of an odd rules question here. I guess the towel, even if it kind of flops out away from the body, still part of the uniform and would count?
Yes, just like a loose jersey would.
So if it brushes up against the towel, even if the towel's kind of coming off of your backside, and that would really be a terrible break for Syracuse, but It may turn into a giveaway, as unintentional as it might be. And Tennessee might end up with the ball in plus territory here. But you have to be able to see for sure that it makes contact.
Yes, clear and obvious.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. No touching by the receiving team. First down.
So again, they're saying not clear and obvious.
Exactly.
They stick with the call on the field.
Exactly. It looks like it may have. I thought it may have, looking at some of the replays as well, but it's not clear and obvious.
So Syracuse maintains possession at their own 18 or rather 17-yard line. Still down by 3 scores. But a lot of time left on the clock. Still 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, there's a lot of work still for Syracuse to do here. There's a lot they can find out about their football team. Tennessee rolling some guys in there on the defensive side. You see most of their frontline starters are back out on the field. I think Arian Carter back in the game along with T-Lander.
Malachi James. Stiff arm does nothing. Jordan Ross brings him down for a loss of at least 5.
And there's another one of those Leo position defensive ends. These guys can go 6'5", 245. This time it's Jordan Ross. Him, Caleb Herring, Joshua Josephs all play that position that James Pierce Jr. played last year. And there you see the athleticism that the guys who play that position have. You get out on the perimeter against these dudes one-on-one, it's usually not going to end very well.
6th tackle for loss today for Tennessee. That's going all the way back to 2021 under Tim Banks. That makes 403 tackles for loss. #1 in the SEC. Long throw to the sideline, and a diving catch is made by Darrell Gill Jr. And I believe that is his first catch of the day, and gets about half of what Syracuse needs. 3rd down and 8.
It's good pass protection for Syracuse. Nice secure pocket for Angeli to survey the full field, and now he's got it still 3rd and long. This is where Tim Banks, is he going to bring pressure? Is he going to bring simulated pressure? Is he going to bring coverage? He's mixed it up well. This is where defensive coordinators make their mark, and so do quarterbacks. Got 6 up on the line.
And they're bringing the house. Angeli, one-on-one down the sideline, incomplete. He threw it behind Justice Ross Simmons. There was a chance for Todd Redmond to possibly pick that one off. And now Syracuse will be forced to punt.
It's a nice job by the Syracuse offensive line of picking everybody up, keeping the pocket secure. There weren't people in Angeli's face making him having to bail out of the pocket. Just can't connect on the outside.
Stonehouse gets away, a beautiful spiraling kick. DeJuan Morris, the true freshman, made a fair catch signal and pulls it in back at the Tennessee 23-yard line. Let's take a look at this week's college football rankings, brought to you by Verbo. And it's a 14-0 lead now for Ohio State over Texas. Hard to believe that that Texas offense can be shut out by anyone, but the Buckeyes doing exactly that. A goal line stand, obviously, has a lot to do with it. And the rest of the top 10 still to come, including several big games on our air. Ty Simpson, Alabama, making his first career start, taking on Florida State at Doak. That's at 3:30 Eastern here on ABC. As soon as we're done in Atlanta, we will head to Tallahassee. And then, of course, later on tonight, get a chance to watch Clemson LSU. Play action. Aguilar to the sideline. Timed up with Brazel. First down.
It's a nice route by Chris Brazel. Putting on the brakes. Working back to the quarterback. Ball delivered on time.
Peyton Lewis. 8 yards right up the middle and broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Gary Bryant III eventually got him down. Tennessee, in spite of the fact they've got the 18-point lead, not taking their foot off the gas pedal. And now that tempo may have caused a neutral zone infraction.
I think you're going to get the right guard, Wendell Moe. Just couldn't hold in there.
Well, Syracuse jumped. Did that draw the reaction?
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, second down.
So it is a Tennessee penalty to make it 2nd and 7.
As we noted at the top, they had to make some adjustments on the offensive line with the injury to David Sanders Jr., the fabulous freshman. But you still see the physicality that they have as a unit, this entire group. They're big and physical up front. Wendell Moe, 6'2", 330 pounds, a transfer from Arizona. Real good feet, powerful. Lance Hurd is healthy. Sam Pendleton comes over from Notre Dame.
Aguilar, high throw, pulled down by Braylon Staley. It'll be 3rd down and 4. And for Aguilar now, 14 of 25, 213 yards, and a couple of touchdowns.
Syracuse got to find a way to get a stop. If you're Joey Aguilar, you just got to get the ball to his receivers. They've been able to get open, got to get it to him on time.
He's going to run it himself with a stiff arm, short of the 1st down. Tried to sprint to the sideline. Anwar Sparrow helped to bring him down for Syracuse. Now it's 4th down and 2. And we have another injured Syracuse player, it appears, right on their sideline.
Yeah, it's an interesting call on the part of Josh Heupel. Say Joey Aguilar he fell pretty hard on that right shoulder as he was trying to stiff arm the defender.
So while Barry Buxton is tended to on the sideline for Syracuse, how about we take a closer look at the day that Joey Aguilar has had in his first Tennessee start.
He's
reset the game clock.
He's shown really nice field vision throughout the day as far as knowing where to go with the football. And when his mechanics are straight and the pocket is secure, he is able to make some very, very high-level throws. Again, here on the touchdown, he may have had the corner out to his front side, but the pressure started closing in. He works up into his left, makes a nice throw to Star Thomas on the touch pass. There again, you just look at the journey that this young man.
It's an amazing story.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, for a young man that had no recruiting interest out of high school, so he goes the junior college route, but then not only not playing as a walk-on at College of San Francisco, but there was COVID that got in the way as well. He went 2 years without even playing football and thought about becoming a firefighter because he had taken a firefighting class in high school as a senior and then in junior college, was fascinated with that career decision, but he went to Diablo Valley. He was the backup. A week 5 start. He played well, kind of put him on the radar for recruiters. Finds his way to Appalachian State, plays 2 years there, and throws for close to 7,000 yards. Then he decides he wants to go back to California, close out his career with UCLA in his home state. Except Nico Iamaleava transfers from Tennessee to UCLA, takes his job for all intent and purposes, so they switch schools. And he goes from unrecruited out of high school junior college quarterback to now starting in the SEC in Tennessee. It's amazing.
That's resilience.
So protecting this 18-point lead after Aguilar came up short. Josh Heupel will punt it away. And milking as much time off the clock as possible. Jackson Ross delays, and then lets it go. And no chance for a return for Kerr. Fair catch at the 12-yard line. Down to Chris.
On top of Joey Aguilar's just incredible story is that how he even has eligibility, and part of that he can thank Diego Pavia, the quarterback at Vanderbilt, who pushed against the NCAA to be able to say that those years in JUCO, I should get back his extra eligibility. That happened this spring. If that doesn't happen, Joey Aguilar doesn't even have this year of eligibility.
There you go. Sometimes it all just lines up for you, and when it does, Do you take advantage of the opportunity?
Well, and you also need a head coach that believes it's possible. And I thought it was interesting. Josh Heupel brings that lens to Joey Aguilar. Because remember, before Josh Heupel was the Heisman runner-up, he did what Joey Aguilar is doing. Right? He went to Weber State. He played a year at Snow College of junior college football before he got to Oklahoma. Nice move by Yasin Willis as he picks up 8. So you've got a head coach that traveled the same road as a quarterback that maybe other head coaches wouldn't have believed in and given a chance to.
And you can definitely tell that he really did connect with that road and admires Joey Aguilar for sticking with it and then putting in the work in a short amount of time to be able to operate this offense the way he's operated it here.
Back-to-back runs by Yasin Willis. A first down for Syracuse as we come up on 90 seconds remaining third quarter. And Jelly on a rollout. Floats one to the sideline and throws it away.
See, it's just hard for Syracuse to maintain momentum against a team that quite honestly just has more talent than you know, in terms of depth and in terms of just sheer athleticism. And Fran knows he's going to have to continue to upgrade the depth on this roster, despite having such a successful, initial season. He knows there's still more work to be done. But you're gaining valuable reps out here, especially with your quarterback that's had some nice moments.
Willis thought about the sideline, instead goes off guard with a cut in the backfield for 4. So it will be third down and a long 5 close to 6 for Syracuse. Caleb Herring made the stop, and that committee of Josh Josephs, Caleb Herring, Jordan Ross, they have combined to have a nice day at that Leo rush position as they're all collectively trying to fill the hole left by James Pierce Jr.
Yeah, they've got the ideal body types. You can tell when they go out on the recruiting trail, they are looking for certain body types at all their positions. They have standardized metrics they want them to hit.
Blitz coming. And Jelly, slant, beats it in stride. There goes Cook with speed across the 50. 38 seconds to go, third quarter, but the catch and run, or check that Tyshawn Russell, the catch and run, third down conversion.
That's just a nice timing throw. He just puts it right on him so he can catch it in stride, and Russell then can just turn it upfield and run away from coverage. And now you have another defensive lineman down, Jamal Wallace. They're getting thin on the interior. They already were needing to have some guys step up playing these defensive tackle positions.
So a half minute to go in the third quarter. And Syracuse across the 50-yard line, down by 3 scores. But the Tennessee defense, certainly that pass rush is going to be a factor all year.
It sure will, because of both schematically and because of the fact that they have great guys who are doing it. Here again, the simulated pressure, Arian Carter is faking like he's going back in the coverage, and then he just brings it downhill. Here you just got a little bit of a wrap stunt coming around, and you have Edwin Spillman getting the hit. Then you just bring the star position, the nickel defender off the edge with Jalen McMurray. He times up his lead perfectly. T-Lander with the interception. They just have a lot of different things that they can go to from a schematic standpoint. And then they have a lot of great body types they can put in all these different positions. And you end up with 4 sacks. I mean, that's just, look, that's big-time college football, right? That's what it is. That's what all these teams are trying to build. They're trying to build a roster that has a lot of redundancy at each position, meaning guys who look like one another. And then you want to keep them healthy and just roll them through. Because I tell you what, if you don't roll all these dudes through, what are they going to do? They're going to hit the portal, and you're going to be rebuilding your team every year. So that's why they pay these guys.
Well, you're also excited when you have an architect like Tim Banks, right?
Yeah.
Because he is one that he seems to think the game schematically at an NFL level and puts a lot on the football intelligence of these players to do so many different things.
And that's what makes it fun for coaches. You want to coach great players. You want to coach great athletes who love the game. Tennessee has those on their roster.
Jet sweep. Cut back. Tyshawn Russell. And that might take us to the end of the third quarter.
There you see who's...
So the Vols will take a 3-score lead to the fourth quarter. And they have done this both sides of the football. Joey Aguilar And the passing attack gets it done on the offensive side. The defense has gotten takeaways as well. We head to the fourth after we return. These messages and a word from our ABC stations.
We on a whole nother level. Bigger than ever, we back.
To the Aflac kickoff game. You're watching ABC College Football presented by Starbucks. And a chance for us to thank all of the Marines that are here today as we are helping them celebrate the 250th year of the United States Marine Corps. And they deserve every bit of this celebration as we start the fourth quarter with Will Nixon diving ahead for 3, maybe 4 yards to make it 3rd down and 1 for Syracuse in Tennessee territory, but down by 3 scores. Nixon won't get there. Oh, speed to the edge in pursuit.
And that's exactly what you saw. You see Colton Hood just come flying up to the line of scrimmage. He has been aggressive all day long.
Syracuse has to go for it, down by 18, 4th down and 2.
But what do you call here? Do you try and run this ball up the gut against this Tennessee defense that's been a little bit banged up on the interior? Or do you get Angeli out on the perimeter and try and throw it?
Play action. Angeli in trouble. Avoids a sack. Sidearms one. And finds a check down. David Clement was able to free himself up and pick up the 1st down. Boy, composure in the face of the rush for Angeli.
Watch
Carter missed on the blitz.
He sure did. He had a clean shot on him, too. What a heck of an individual effort by Steve Angeli. They were trying to get him out on the perimeter, get him away from this pass rush, and he ran right into it. But did his best Houdini impersonation. Nice pickup.
Play action once again. Out of the pocket once again. He's going to run it into the red zone to the 15-yard line. Looks like it's good for 11. And a Syracuse 1st down.
You got to like the grit that this quarterback is showing you right now. Is that Nathan Robinson?
He's down again. So we'll step aside. A couple of minutes gone by in the 4th quarter. But multi-viewer, just one aspect of the brand new ESPN app and direct-to-consumer service. And we're so excited to be a part of that. After the injury timeout, in the red zone. Christian Willis right up the gut down to the 7-yard line, close to a 1st down.
Got some good movement at the point of attack. These offensive linemen still continuing to fight on the inside. Now they're going hurry up.
They'll run it again. Willis behind the left guard. 1st down and goal to the 2-yard line.
Again, another nice job again by T.J. Ferguson, the left side of this offensive line. Trevion Mack, Austin Collins at center, getting some push. And now we got another defender down.
Another injury. And this time, it's Ty Redmond, the true freshman corner. So we'll step aside. Another injury timeout here in Atlanta.
The Aflac kickoff game on ABC, presented by Starbucks, is brought to you by Aflac. Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. And the Starbucks Coffee Company.
Philip Fulmer's 10th-ranked Vols beat Paul Pasqualone's 17th-ranked Orange back in 1998 on September 5th with a last-second field goal. And that started the Vols' march to 13-0 national championship perfection. And the Vols might start a march today. We'll see. But marching towards the goal line, Syracuse, after the last injury timeout, down to the 1-yard line. Went direct snap to Valari. And now back to the more conventional look with Aguilar lining up. You've seen Willis. He takes the handoff, and he will walk into the end zone with a Syracuse touchdown. Now Syracuse signaling that they're going to go for 2 now, down by 12. Interesting call here, Lewis, because it's a go for dose brought to you by Dos Equis. If you don't get this, you still need 2 touchdowns. If you were to kick the extra point and make this an 11-point deficit, you keep the field goal in play.
Right.
But they're going to go for 2 now and try and cut the lead to 10.
What's the play call? Got an empty formation.
Angeli, quarterback draw. He won't get there. He is gang tackled, and now that means that they're still down by 12. And they didn't need necessarily to go for 2 yet. That's a little bit of a body blow, I would think, to the sideline for Syracuse, because they need 2 touchdowns still.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like the call. I think maybe he was trying to see if he can get the little glance route out on the outside. Quarterback draw is not the call I would have made for Angeli in that situation.
So Fran Brown opts to go for 2 down by 12, and Syracuse doesn't get it. So they now need 2 touchdowns in the last 12 minutes against a Tennessee offense that has put 38 points on the board. And a fair catch called for here on the kickoff, so it'll be a touchback as we go to Kevin.
Well, we got an update in Columbus, 14-0 Ohio State. Here comes Arch Manning in Texas. His first touchdown of the season, the Parker Livingstone bug.
I love it. Sees one-on-one coverage in the back of the end zone. Give your guy an opportunity to make a play, and Parker does.
Texas had an opportunity here now at midfield, but on 4th and 5, and the Buckeyes bring the pressure. They make the stop.
The story of the day, the Ohio State coordinator, Matt Patricia, called it up all day long.
14-7 Ohio State. Ryan Williams, number 8, Alabama at Florida State. That game coming up after ours right now. Back to you, Bob.
Here's a swing pass to Deshaun Bishop to get this drive, Kevin, started for Tennessee. And a little swing pass out of the backfield, all the way out close to midfield. 23 yards on the catch and run for Bishop.
See, just when they need Syracuse, that is, to make a big play, they try to send some extra pressure. Tennessee has the perfect call. There's a tackle for a loss.
That's only the 2nd tackle for loss today for the Syracuse defense, but Bishop is brought down behind the line, and yet another injury. Chris Thomas is now down, holding the back of his right leg for Syracuse. And if you were watching Texas Ohio State, as that game went right down to the wire, Bob Wischusen, Louis Riddick, Chris Budden here in Atlanta, the first of 2 Aflac kickoff games. Tomorrow we'll have Virginia Tech against Lenora Sellers in South Carolina at 3 Eastern. Tennessee, of course, made it to the first round of the college football playoff last year and lost to the eventual champion Ohio State. And Tennessee had a 17-0 lead at the end of the first quarter in this game. But Syracuse has counterpunched Lewis enough with Steve Angeli engineering a few touchdown drives to stay in the game down by 2 scores.
Yeah, they sure have. Look, they've manufactured just enough offense to keep this game to within 2 scores. But for Tennessee, it's been about the big plays, both through the air and on the ground. And there you see the big bomb to Braylon Staley. And then the way these running backs have run today, Deshaun Bishop, Peyton Lewis, they have been just studs. This is just a beautiful touch throw to Star Thomas by Joey Aguilar. And I think right now, if you're Josh Heupel, you're thinking, okay, look, all right, we need to punch another one of these in here. We know that Syracuse is trying to create some kind of turnover, some kind of game-changing play. Elijah Robinson, the defensive coordinator, you said he sent 6 on that last play, but they had the perfect play call on and got the little dump pass out on the perimeter, picked up a big chunk of yardage, and then get the TFL. If you're Syracuse, you're thinking, look, we've got to go 3 and out here at this point on. We got them in 2nd and long. And if you're Tennessee, The run game has continued to work. I would continue to lean on it.
Well, both teams have constantly had injured defensive tackles. And Chris Thomas just had to leave the field, as did Kevin Jobity. So Elijah Fuentes-Cundiff, a third-string defensive tackle, is on the field for Syracuse. I guess, would you run right at that group if you're Tennessee?
Yeah, especially if you're getting these two high looks with two safeties back. I'm going to run the football right down the middle.
There it is. 4.5-yard gain for Deshaun Bishop across midfield.
It really, some of these guys, I mean, you saw there when Chris Thomas went off the field. I mean, his hamstring, you can tell they're playing a ton of plays at a rapid clip. They haven't gotten anything like that really in training camp that you can really simulate on a one-to-one basis. And these guys are having to adjust right now. It's going to be a battle of attrition from here on out.
George Brooks has made his way back in the game. But Tank Wilson left earlier. We haven't seen him return. Chris Thomas just helped off the field as well. Third down. Aguilar, one-on-one down the sideline for Matthews. A little push-off, incomplete. Matthews hoping for a flag. It looked like at the last moment he tried to create a little bit of separation as the ball was falling.
Well, there's no question that he did. He had some separation. Joey just got to put that out there. You see he wins at the line of scrimmage. Right there, he's gone. He's got the separation that he needs, but he has to slow down because the ball's underthrown. He beat Chris Peel. Tennessee looking for the flag, looking for the pass interference. Better thrown ball. That might be 6.
Instead, it's a punt. End over end wobbly kick from Ross. Davion Kerr at the 12-yard line hauls it in. And again, we're very excited about this. The all-new ESPN app, the best way to watch sports. All of ESPN, all in one place. Live games, live stats. You can track your fantasy teams, personalize it as well with your favorite leagues, teams, and players. You won't miss a thing that we have on any of our networks. All of ESPN, all in one place.
Got an interesting situation coming up here now for Syracuse, right? They haven't been able to produce any real explosive, them chunk plays. They've had to go on long drives. They need a quick strike. They need someone to be able to break loose and kind of flip this game into a very interesting situation with a big explosive play down the field. It's just been so hard for this wide receiver core to do that.
Angeli turns. Nixon carries. And he has 4 yards. 10 minutes to go in the game. The other factor that has helped Syracuse is even with, at times, a 3-score lead, Tennessee has continued to run their up-tempo game the entire game.
And the clock still works in their favor.
So there's 10 minutes on the clock still in large part because Tennessee keeps snapping it with 25 seconds or more on the play clock when they have the football. They haven't milked the clock at all. And here's Angeli going down at the 10-yard line. Jalen McMurray delayed blitz. And he gets the sack. Third down and 11.
Jalen McMurray, you can just tell the physical presence that this guy has. I mean, he is an absolute stick of dynamite the way he will come downhill. And look at him. It's full speed contact. There's no breaking down. There's no, I'm not sure of myself. I'm running through you on contact. He has had a heck of a game.
5 sacks for Tennessee.
There you see Arian Carter on your screen. Got a little harness on that right shoulder. This is a big down for Steve Angeli. Can he figure out a way to convert here and keep this drive going?
Blitz coming. Angeli protected. Takes a shot down the sideline. Incomplete.
Well,
Colton Hood has had an excellent day in coverage, and he locked up Darrell Gill.
He sure has. But I tell you, you see the Syracuse sideline just screaming for pass interference. You see he's got those long arms. And then here you can tell there's a lot of hand fighting going on with both of them at the catch point. Darrell Gill's fighting. Colton Hood is fighting, trying to get in position to make a play on the ball. But he has been a very productive player today, one-on-one.
Stonehouse. This time a low line drive kick that's going to take a bounce. Staley fields it on a hop at the 45 and gets cut down. Still excellent field position for Tennessee as we approach the midway point of the 4th quarter. And coming off a disastrous year For Mike Norvell's Noles, Florida State looking to begin the season with a huge win at home as they entertain number 8 Alabama. That's coming up as soon as we're done here in Atlanta. Now, if you're Tennessee here, do you milk the clock a little bit on this possession, at least more so than they have done to this point?
I think with the way their power running game has worked, I think that's definitely something that starts to come into play here. Just slow it down a bit. Let the big guys up front lean on this Syracuse defensive line.
Here's Star Thomas to midfield and more. Spin cycle inside the 40. Carrying tacklers down inside the 35 to the 32 of Syracuse for 22 yards.
Just watch what happens at the point of attack. Look how everyone just gets washed down inside. And then you just see Sam Pendleton coming out on the pull and just mauling the linebacker Anwar Sparrow.
It's Isaiah Hastings' turn as he is injured and holding his right leg. And again, Tennessee was ready to go up tempo.
Player presented injured before the ball was spotted. There is no timeout charge.
So with 8:19 to go in the fourth quarter. And a chance for us to spend a little more time talking about Florida State, Alabama. And boy, if there's a team in need of a signature win to begin their season, it would be Florida State based on what happened last year. Kalen DeBoer, of course, his team missed the playoff with a 9-4 record, their fewest wins in a long time. But Florida State, boy, they struggled just to find a win during the season last year after the 13-1 record in 2023.
Yeah, and we were down there that first game against Boston College, Bob, and it was interesting. I remember talking to SVP after that game, and I remember sitting there and thinking, this season can go really bad for this team. The way in which they lost that game, I didn't realize it would be something that would kind of foretell the way the rest of the season went. And who was the quarterback for Boston College? That guy who did Florida State in. Now he's down in Florida, in Tallahassee, Tommy Castellanos, who had a heck of a night that night.
And he leaves Boston College to try and go and resurrect the Noles program. Again, that's coming up next here on ABC.
I tell you here, the run that you just saw, the kind of physicality and the kind of attitude that the Tennessee offensive line came off the ball with. If you're Josh Heupel, the coaches upstairs are probably telling you, look, just continue to run the power running game.
Well, under Josh Heupel, this is the 31st time that his team has gone over 200 yards on the ground, and they're 28-2 in the previous 30 where they have run for 200 or more. And if you're looking for a reason to believe that Dylan Sampson can be replaced, this stable of running backs, this committee, gives you a lot of reason to believe exactly that. Star Thomas again. Inside the 30-yard line.
See there, they just switch it up. Now they go to a zone blocking scheme. Just give them different looks. And just shuttle the backs through. Clock just keeps on ticking down to 7:36 and counting.
Will they let it tick, though? 30 on the play clock. And they're getting lined up again. Still looking over those Aguilar. Maybe now they do start to milk the play clock for the first time.
And there you see it. That graphic on your screen. 448 total yards today. And then here comes the play action pass.
First down. Into the red zone.
You just see how it goes hand in hand. The play action pass, both linebackers are literally standing a yard from the line of scrimmage off of that play action fake. And it's just so easy to just throw and catch. But here we go with the warp speed.
Star Thomas. A nearly 7-yard gain to the 11-yard line.
When you've got it going like this, you can just call whatever you want. You just kind of rotate. Hey, zone, gap scheme, play action pass. Zone run, gap scheme, play action pass. Because the defense is just so tired. They don't know what's coming.
Tank Wilson is back in the game for Syracuse. Jobity returns as well. So all of the defensive tackles that we have slowly seen leave the game at different times with injury have all been able to work their way back in. Star Thomas again. And I think it's first and goal. Looks like he just squeezed enough yardage out to move the chains. Let's see.
This is an offensive lineman's dream. You mean we don't have to sit back and pass sets and pass protect? We can just get up on our hands and up on our toes and come off the ball? Thank you.
Clock was
Keep
stopped
calling it.
before an injured player. Please reset it to 6:05. 6:05. Start on my signal.
I mean, you just see the big guys up front. They're like, yeah, this is what we want. Because, you know, look, they see the look in the defender's eyes. They see it. I've been on that side of the ball where the offensive linemen are just kind of grinning at you going, yeah, you're tired, aren't you? You're tired. You don't want any more of this. And it makes you start sitting there questioning yourself. And this is exactly what Tennessee wants to do.
Thomas was marked down a half-yard shy of the first down. Play action on third down. Aguilar rolls out. Right at the front right pylon, he squeezes one in with a flag dropping out for a touchdown. Chris Brazo scooped it up, and he was just across the goal line. We'll have to check the penalty marker.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
So Jesse Perry playing right tackle in place of the true freshman David Sanders today. He kicked out from guard to tackle. He was downfield.
You see Jesse Perry right here on the line of scrimmage. And there you see him. He's a good 5-6 yards down past the line of scrimmage. He's just driving his guy off the ball. He expected the ball to be gone by that point. Joey Aguilar extending the play.
Well, Lewis, is that kind of the classic RPO where you're an offensive lineman and you think it's a run play?
Right, the timing just gets all messed up. And look, obviously it takes 6 off the board, but I mean, you kind of understand why it happens when it does.
So third down and 5.5. They'll run it with Star Thomas. He's to the 5. He's got the first down. First and goal down to the 2. Tank Wilson saved a touchdown.
And just zone blocking. You just see the guys in that time. I tell you, Jesse Perry has his guy and just kind of just drives him and then finishes him to the ground. And these backs you talked about, this stable between Star Thomas, Peyton Lewis, and Deshaun Bishop, that's a pretty good group of 3.
So first and goal just outside the 1 as they're looking to extend to a 3-score lead once again. And now the play clock is winding down, and Tennessee still looking over to the sideline. It's down to 4, and Josh Heupel's going to have to call timeout. So with 4:52
Charge
to go.
timeout, Tennessee, their first. This is a 30-second timeout.
The Vols will call a timeout. Bob Wischusen, Louis Riddick, Chris Budden. Joey Aguilar is a tremendous story, which we have detailed. So unlikely that he ends up as the starting quarterback at Tennessee. But what isn't unlikely at all, Tennessee running the football, controlling the line of scrimmage, and terrorizing the opposition's quarterback with a pass rush.
Yeah, it's a tried and true methodology to win football at a very high level. The physical aspect of the game, no matter how this game of football changes, Bob, and you know this, you've been calling it a long time. The physical aspect of the game is always what's ultimately going to wind up winning at the highest level. Josh Heupel knows that. That's the way they build this football team. It was kind of startling to me to look at the statistics as we're getting prepared for this game and think of Tennessee as a power running football team, considering the kind of formations that they use, the kind of players that they've had, and how they like to throw the ball down the field. But I'll tell you what, they are as physical a football team and want to be as physical of a football team as any. And they've shown that today.
Well, they've run for 2,500 plus yards every year that Josh Heupel's been on the sideline. High snap, Aguilar pulls it down, and he gets driven back. Did well to just hold on to the football. It looked like he wanted an inside handoff, but the high snap threw the timing off, and Gary Bryant came through, made the tackle, and we've got another injury.
It's those kind of things that just drive coaches crazy. It's simple shotgun snap.
Anwar Sparrow is the injured Cuse player.
As we're waiting for the injured player to see how he's doing, again, Joey Aguilar. I mean, it's been the story coming into this game. It's been the story all off season. The quarterback position, as Nico Iamaleava had left the program. And then here again, Joey Aguilar just surveying the full field. He may have the 7 route in the corner to his right, the little corner route, but he decides to move up in the pocket, and great touch pass to Star Thompson.
Kevin Nagani in studio. The conclusion of Tennessee-Syracuse will be moving to ESPN News. After this break, Chief Osceola setting the tone at Doak Campbell. We got Florida State #8, Alabama. That will kick off on ABC right after these messages.